Cumberland.
What an incredible last heat we just had.
Wow.
It really helps to be competing against the other best in Canada.
Yeah.
It really makes your performance just go higher and higher.
Well, they push each other to do better all the time.
Absolutely.
You know, they know where each other's at. Nate, the first thing he said to me, did I get him? Did I get him? They want to know. They're in here to win. And I'll tell you right now, in this heat, Nick Russell, great single bucker. Ben Cumberland, he very well could come and take this one.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Excellent opening pulls for our competitors, but it's Ben Cumberland who's bringing the speed. Nick Russell right on his tail. Ben powering through the center. Almost he's done.
10 strokes.
Wow. There we go.
Wow. And Nick, not to be done. Beautiful cut by Nick, too. But 10 strokes for Ben to get through that log.
That is definitely reading the wood right.
We have 2 good cuts.
Fantastic news for both of our competitors. That's it, folks. We are at the end of our single buck. Ben Cumberland feeling good, walking away with his unofficial time of 10.20 seconds.
All right, gang, here with Ben Cumberland, 10 strokes in 10.2 seconds on 18-inch white pine. Ben, unofficially, that is a world record. An incredible cut on that wood here today in Charlottetown. How are you feeling after that?
Pretty emotional. Today has gone incredibly. And I'm just so thankful. God's been so good today.
You're working so hard, buddy. You're doing a great job here at the 2022 championships. Ben Cumberland gonna go get ready for another event, the Springboard Chop, but a big hand for Ben here in Charlottetown with that incredible cut. With our single buck discipline complete, let's check in with our official Steel Timber Sports scoreboard before we start the last discipline of round 2, the Springboard Chop.
Make some noise for Berlin Nickerson.
And going head-to-head with Berlin, stand number 2, Jeff Larkin.
Springboard Chop is another very enjoyable event. I think anybody that does the series would say it's one of the funner events to do. Once most people get over that fear of having to jump up on boards and actually work at a height, it's very enjoyable to get up there and just chop away at that block.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
There we go, folks. We're right into the wood for Berlin Nickerson and Jeff Larkin on stand number 2. Berlin Nickerson, just a clinic on a pocket, looking good. Jeff Larkin right behind, not as strong, but actually, you know what? Look at 2 boards, looking good. On to the next one. Oh, Jeff Larkin not convinced with his first pocket, making a little bit more room, wants a strong board. Berlin, though, looking good. He's definitely has some people in the crowd cheering him on. I think he can use a bit more.
Good board up top. Berlin's got a great board.
That's definitely going to help. He's using the strength of his back leg. Big swing from Berlin Nickerson, but on stand number 2, let's take a look at Jeff Larkin working away at his second pocket. He's nice. He's looking good. We're just past the 50-second mark. That's where we want to be for Berlin Nickerson. Looking good, getting those big chunks out. That's what we want to see here. Looking good. He's almost done that front side. He'll be turning soon, but Jeff Larkin still working away on his second pocket. He's feeling convinced. He's moving those chips out of the way, placing in that board. Hopefully it's going to be the one he needs. Berlin Nickerson still working away on his front. Looking good. Jeff Larkin on top. Let's make some noise for him. Look at that board. That's definitely going to help him out. They got 30 seconds on the clock to make it work. Berlin's onto his other side.
Another minute. Still got 2 minutes 30 they've got.
Looking good. Almost there. Come on, Berlin. You got it. It's starting to wiggle.
Great board for Jeff Larkin up top. He's got lots of confidence. He needs to lay into that block and let it fly and not be afraid to hit that log with everything he's got.
On stand 1, we have a good cut. On stand 2, DQ for exceeding the time limit.
There you have it, folks. Let's have another big hand for both our competitors.
Stay with us, folks. Right after the break, we're back with more coverage of the Springboard Chop.
Car shopping has changed. Canada Drives offers you a smarter, more convenient car buying experience. Browse our selection of hundreds of certified used cars online and get your new car delivered straight to your door with our same-day delivery. Enjoy peace of mind knowing that every Canada Drives car must pass a rigorous 150-point inspection. You'll have a full 7 days to love it or return it, so if you change your mind, we'll pick it up and give you a full refund. It's the smarter, safer way to buy a car. It's Canada Drives.
Dipped, drizzled, sandwiched, sprinkled, or straight up. There's a million ways to enjoy Cavendish Farms fries, but only one way to make them the right way. Grown, picked, washed, chopped, checked, and packed up just right. Cavendish Farms, made our way, enjoyed your way.
It calls you to a place with no boundaries, where the trail ends and the beyond begins. The 2023 Chevrolet Silverado ZR2 is ready. Are you?
Today, my friend, you did it! You did it!
Today, you took Centrum and took one more step toward taking charge of your health. Centrum is a complete multivitamin with key nutrients, so every day you can say, with Centrum.
Germs invade through your nose, the body's air filter. But how do you clean it? Navage uses powered suction to help flush out congestion, allergens, mucus, and viruses. Millions use drug-free Navage to breathe better and feel healthier. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Trent. Will Trent.
Name?
Special Agent Will Trent.
He's good police. And he's objectively hot.
Boom.
An all-new episode of Will Trent, Tuesday at 10/8 Mountain, only on CTV. Stream on all your favorite devices.
Thanks for staying with us, folks. Let's get right back with heat number 2 of the Springboard Chop.
All right, folks, we're ready for our next heat of the Springboard Chop. Coming up on stand number 1, it's Marcel Dupuis.
Taking on Marcel. Stand number 2, Nathan Cumberland.
So the Springboard is a really fun event. It's a lot more, probably more technical than the other events. So for me, Springboard, the biggest thing is 2 good pockets. I'm not probably the fastest climber, but I like trying to make sure I get 2 good pockets. If the board starts to slope, it's hard to chop on them. So that'll be the biggest thing today, is making sure I make 2 good pockets and then chop the block up top to the best of my ability.
So Springboard is probably the most technical event that we do, because you need to have good pockets. And once you have a good pocket, you're able to chop. It's just like chopping a standing block. But the most important part of the Springboard Chop is make sure to do 2 good pockets. Don't jump on the board if the pocket's not well or not good. It's not going to hold you. And yeah, and then once you get up top, get moving. Chop it right.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Here we go, folks. Look at Nathan Cumberland. He wants to get those pockets done. He's feeling good about his first one. Marcel Dupuis right on his tail.
Great boards.
There we go, looking good. Moving that chip out of the way. Nathan, he needs that out of the way. He wants to make room for that pocket, but Marcel Dupuis working away on his pocket. He's feeling good. There we go. Marcel onto his second pocket. Good Nathan boards. Cumberland still behind him. Look at the strength of those boards. Those are good pockets, are paying off. Marcel, he is just giving her lots of strength from both of our competitors. Looking good. They are 6 feet in the air chopping those blocks. We have family from both sides of our competitors cheering them on, but they can use every help they can get. Marcel onto his other side. We are at the 56-second mark. He's going to start going anytime soon. Nice! There we go, Nathan Cumberland turning to his other side. We're at 1-6. Looking good. He's feeling a big gas, but he's still going. Looking good. Keeping it safe. Nice.
You need strong boards to hold these two lads up. Great boards up top, Lindsay. Some great chopping there.
Fantastic.
All right, Marcel Dupuis taking down that heat in the springboard chop. Looked like a good climb, cut it well up top. How'd you feel about the chop overall, Marcel?
The chop went well, the climb went well. I thought I was a bit deeper in the front side, made more hits than I wanted to in the back, but that's competition.
You got it off, you got good points, you're guaranteed at least third place in the springboard chop, and I would say basically guaranteed going on to the third and final round. The hot saw, your bread and butter. How are you feeling about that going into the hot saw?
We'll see if we can make it through. We'll try to make 3 cuts.
Just that simple for Marcel. No big deal. Congrats to you on a great cut in the springboard, and best of luck in the hot saw, pal.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, folks, we're ready for our last heat of the springboard chop. Make some noise for Nick Russell!
And head-to-head with Nick. Having a heck of a day here. Stand number 2, Ben Cumberland. He is hungry, Lindsay, for that first Canadian championship.
Absolutely. He's been on the podium before, and this time he wants that top spot.
Springboard, tree surfing. It's so much fun. And it would be a lot more fun if I wasn't nervous about being up there, 6 feet high with an axe in my hands. Nervous on the top board, I tend to tighten up a bit, and the axe will freeze in the block, so I just need to kind of keep the axe going and again, do the best cut that I can.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Here we go, folks. It's our last heat of the springboard chop. Wow.
4-hitter.
Ben Cumberland with a 4-hit pocket. He's not wasting any time, but Nick Russell's right on his tail. There we go. That training has really come into handy. Ben Cumberland getting those chips out of the way. Bit of a longer pocket, but it's not making any difference. We're at the 20-second mark, and Ben Cumberland, stand number 2, is up top. Let's make some noise for him.
This is gonna be a good one.
Bit of slope for Nick Russell on stand number 2 on his first board. He's looking for a stronger pocket on that second one. But Ben Cumberland taking it really specific, looking good, hitting his marks. Nice big slope from his hits. Nick Russell placing in his second board at the 50-second mark. It is looking close, looking good. Ben Cumberland on the exchange. You gotta make some noise for your athletes. Looking good at the 1-7 mark. Looking good for both of our athletes. 2 strong boards. Nick Russell, stand 1 from Port McNeil, BC. Ben Cumberland, stand number 2. It's starting to go, and it's gone. Here we go, folks. It's our last heat of the springboard chop. Nick Russell still working away on that front side. We're at the 1:32 mark. Looking good. He's still looking for a clean time. There we go. He's got his family cheering him on. He's on to his other side. Nice. That is one tough piece of timber up there. That's not helping, but he's working hard up there. He's feeling it. He's got it.
We have 2 good cuts.
Fantastic news for our athletes here, and that wraps up our springboard chop.
All right, folks, here with Nick Russell. Looked like not too bad a climb, bit of tough wood up top, but overall, how'd you feel about the cut, Nick?
Yeah, I got a good cut in there. I got just 2 minutes, but I struggled with the top pocket a bit, but got it done.
You got it done, you got a time, and I think based on how you've been running here today, pretty good chance we may see Nick here in the third and final round of the hot saw. What would it mean for you to get a chance at a Canadian title in the final round?
Oh, it'd be a dream come true, and there's 3-4 other guys that are trying to get that too.
You betcha. It's going to be a tight race, but Nick's had a great day. Big hand for Nick Russell here, Charlottetown PEI, the Canadian Championships.
What a strong finish to the springboard chop. Here is our official Steel Timber Sports standings at the end of round 2. Our top 6 athletes will advance to our third and final round. Thanks again for joining us in beautiful Charlottetown, PEI. We hope you tune in next week for more coverage of our 2022 Steel Timber Sports Canadian Championship.
Can confirm.
Halifax, where we finally saw a little snow overnight and this morning for the first time at this World Juniors. Weather has been great. Hockey has been spectacular. Today we hand out medals. First up, Sweden, USA for bronze. This is not the game Jimmy Snuggerud and the U.S. thought they'd be in. Snuggerud, Luke Mittelstadt and company really thought they had Canada early, but it didn't happen. So instead, they will try to leave here with a medal of a different color, taking on Victor Sternberg and Sweden. Their loss, more painful perhaps the way it happened. Carl Lindbaum trying to erase those tying and winning Czech goals from his memory bank quickly. Sweden and the U.S. for bronze. And the trophy is in the house. In fact, it's on our desk. There's the engraving of the summer champions. Canada trying to go back-to-back. First time anyone's done it in 14 years. And to do it in 5 months after that summer tournament. We say hello, Canada, and welcome to the final day of the 2023 World Juniors. James Duffy alongside Cheryl Pounder and Bob McKenzie. Jeff O'Neill will join us a little bit later on for Canada, Czechia for gold. But first, it is the battle of the broken-hearted. Sweden was 35 seconds away from that gold medal game, and it slipped away. The Americans fired 45 shots and had their hearts broken by an undrafted Canadian goalie who was absolutely spectacular. Today we find out which one can recover from the heartache faster and leave with a pretty sweet consolation prize. To get you ready for it, Gordon Miller and Mike Johnson.
And James, a player can leave an impact in this tournament as well. And for Team USA, Logan Cooley has certainly done that.
In a different tournament without Connor Bedard, we'd probably be paying a lot more attention to Logan Cooley, who has the second most points in the tournament with 12. And in a game against Sweden, that is likely going to be very tight checking, very low scoring. It may come down to an individual doing something special. And if the Americans are going to get the bronze, if they're going to look to one of those players to do something special, it would be Logan Cooley. He has been the table setter for a lot of what they have done offensively, both for himself with 6 goals or setting up his teammates for a whole bunch of quality opportunities. He has been solid in all 3 zones. And I think, given his recent experiences, he's going to want to end this tournament with the medal. Rebound from last night's disappointing loss and put his best game forward. They'll need him to be good in this one against Sweden.
Hard game to play no matter how you look at it. The United States and Sweden have met in 3 bronze medal games previously at the World Junior Championship. The U.S. has won all 3. James?
You're right, Gordon. In fact, those are 3 of the 4 games they've played for medals at this tournament. We had one more gold medal game in 2013, and as you can see, the Americans have won all 4 against Sweden with a medal on the line. If Sweden is to finally get that first medal against the Americans, who has to be key?
Well, they've got to get their offense cranked up a little bit. They got all these first-round picks in the National Hockey League, but they're not really generating a lot of offense, and I've got to believe playing against the U.S., they're going to need more than a goal or 2 in some of the tight games they played. So San Jose first-rounder Philip Bistad on the left, 6'4", terrific offensive talent. He needs to try and get something going on the score sheet. And Isaac Rosean, boy, oh boy, he started this tournament strong, but in his last 5 games against the Czechs, Canada, Finland, Switzerland, and Czechia, he's only got 1 assist. So the Buffalo first rounder needs to elevate his play offensively. And as I said, against the Americans, they're going to need to generate more than a goal or 2, I think.
Well, one player for Sweden that's done very good things on the back end is going to be Ludvig Jensen. He leads the tournament for defensemen in points right now. 4 goals, 4 assists. And it's not what we expected from him on the back end. I mean, he's got mobility. He really walks the offensive blue line well. His edge work is great. You saw it in the OT winner versus Czechia, an average playing 19 minutes and 11 seconds. And then, hey, you've got Cutter Gauthier. You heard MJ talk about Logan Cooley, and that line with Snuggerud has been so effective. But Cutter Gauthier, 2 goals, 6 assists. Now 31 shots on goal. That's 16 shots from the slot area. And when you look at Cutter Gauthier, he leads the tournament off the rush. This American team is notable for their speed through the neutral zone, and that's going to be a real force that Sweden's going to have to handle.
By the way, guys, don't touch the trophy or you'll never win the World Junior Champion. Oh, that's right.
I can't plan it.
Really thought I had a shot one of these years. They've met 36 times in the history of this tournament, and it's dead even. 17 wins for Sweden, 17 wins for the U.S., a couple of draws. The Americans trying to win their 6th medal in the last 8 years at the World Juniors.
thunder. Put your eye to the sky, boy, and wonder. Maybe there's a kingdom above the weather. Oh, and whether you're gonna get on in is up to him. Carry onward like some songbird, beautiful stranger.
It's the final day of the 2023 World Junior Hockey Championship here in Halifax, and we start with a bronze medal game between the United States and Sweden. Both teams coming off difficult defeats in the semifinals yesterday. A short turnaround, but a chance to go home with something tangible. The officials: Graydon Hamilton is from Duncan, British Columbia. Michael Campbell is from Surrey, BC. The linesman, Ani Hatamaki from Finland, and Daniel Persson from Sweden. And the starting goaltender, as he has been throughout the tournament for the Swedes, is Carl Lindblom. He's played every minute of every game. Allowed 2 goals on 31 shots in that OT loss to Czechia in the semifinal. And back in goal for the United States is Trey Augustine, one of the youngest goaltenders ever to start for the U.S. 3+ games in the World Junior Championship. He's a 17-year-old from South Lyon, Michigan. Magnus Havlin's message to his team was, "It's a long flight home. Let's bring back something with us." The Swedes have won bronze in 2 of the last 3 World Junior Championships. Rand Pecknold on the American bench, trying to put the loss to Canada behind them. They talked this morning about regrouping, and 17 players on this team are from the U.S. National Team Development Program. Their last time together, likely as a group internationally.
Okay, boys, let's have a great game here tonight.
And we're underway with the bronze medal game. Cutter Gauthier works in for Team USA and fires that wide. The U.S. had a 2-0 lead on Canada early on in that semifinal game. The Swedes led 1-0 in the last minute against Czechia. Gave it a late tying goal and then a winning goal in the last minute of the overtime period. Another heartbreaking defeat for the Swedes, who have been snake-bitten in this tournament for 4 decades, for the most part of it. 1 gold medal in the last 41 years. In that time, they've won 10 silver and 5 bronze.
When it's 4 decades, it's hard to think of it as bad luck. It is just unreal run that they had.
Axel Sandin Pellikka led the Swedes in ice time in that game against Czechia. That shot was blocked. Sandin Pellikka, a 17-year-old draft-eligible player.
He has impressed not only me, but a lot of the scouts we've talked to have liked his poise with the puck.
The question is size. Under 6 feet tall, 181 pounds. But a right-hand shot defenseman who can move the puck. Doesn't come down the pipe every day. Norea snaps that pass ahead. Ostlund moves in for Stromgren. In comes Stromgren. Great move. Holds and shoots. Augustine gets a pad on that. And the puck gets by Ludwig Janssen at the point for Sweden. Janssen scores a lone goal for the Swedes against Czechia in the semifinal. They had 2 against them in the round robin, including the overtime winner. He's one of the top D-men in this tournament. Kenny Connors looks ahead. That's knocked away from Gavin Brindley. And Elias Pettersson goes back. It was Pettersson who had the ill-advised icing play in the last minute of regulation. That long shot by Peart was stopped by Lindblom. But the Pettersson icing led to the face-off in the Swedish zone. The face-off won, and the puck winds up in the Swedish net.
So before this game is won on the ice, it's got to be kind of won emotionally for both these teams, trying to recalibrate themselves, put the losses yesterday behind them, get committed to this game. And one of the ways to do that is, of course, get involved physically, turning the page, which is so much harder to do than you would imagine.
There's additional incentive for Sweden in that 11 of these players can return next year in the tournament in Sweden, in Gothenburg. So a chance to build something for the big one next year on home ice. And Hudson works in and fires that around. The last time the tournament was played in Sweden was in Malmo in 2014. The Swedes are beaten in the gold medal game on home ice by the Finns. Rasmus Ristolainen had the golden goal in that game for the Finns in Sweden. Another bitter pill.
That would hurt more than just about anything to the Swedes.
Wagner had that knocked away. In comes Logan Cooley, the 3rd overall pick in the most recent NHL draft for the Arizona Coyotes. Having a great freshman year. From Minnesota, and walks right in, and Cooley scores to make it 1-0. Cooley with his 7th of the tournament.
And a really good forecheck. Active feet and active stick by Jimmy Snuggerud. He reaches around, turns it over from Sjöholm, and hooks it back out front. Really well done with a stick play, not taking any penalties, and then no mistake whatsoever. Cooley gets to walk right into it. Just like that, the U.S. are on the board, up 1-0 as they were yesterday against Canada.
Cooley was the top forward of the 2022 under-18 tournament. He's got 10 goals in 19 games this year, playing for the University of Minnesota, coached by Bob Motzko, who is twice the head coach of the U.S. national junior team.
It looks like the real deal. It looks like he will be a good NHL player.
Behrens goes back as Stromgren comes in. Ogren to Ostlund. Back to Stromgren. Bumped along the boards by Gauthier. It's picked up by Luke Hughes. Up after Cooley back out there. Cooley moves in with Snuggerud. Cooley posts up. Sends that rink wide, and Noah Ostlund broke up that pass intended for Gauthier. Ostlund winds in along with Stromgren. And Stromgren pivots back. Ludwig Janssen shoots, and that's gloved by Augustine.
So one way the Americans can hurt you is with their speed. And if you get on the puck and you dart to spaces, and Logan Cooley starts up high in good defensive positioning. He sees the turnover. He gets down to the scoring spot and is able to cash a pretty easy one on Lindblom.
Cooley, a native of West Mifflin, Pennsylvania. Product of the Pittsburgh Junior Penguins organization. And Pittsburgh's cranked out more and more good players over the years. Red Savage winds out. By the way, Fabian Roussel, the first round pick by the Boston Bruins a couple years ago, is the 13th forward for Sweden, as listed prior to the game. The shot by Upko. Ripped wide off the boards. Now played back down to the side of the Swedish goal. That's frozen by Lindholm. Some pushing and shoving breaks out behind the Swedish goal, and Elias Pettersson in the middle of that.
Logan Cooley continues his terrific run in this tournament. That's 13 points for him this year, 20 for his career. Trying some pretty impressive players for the U.S. Mike Modano, Brian Rolston, and he's had a really good run, and he's done it in fewer of the games with just 2 tournament appearances for him. I wonder when he gets pro. Drafted 3rd overall by Coyotes.
Having a great freshman year as an 18-year-old freshman, which is unusual in college hockey.
So Arizona has the luxury of time. Don't need to force him into the roster.
Cooley's one of the American players who can return next year. They got 10 guys like that. They'll bring a good team to
be at the top of that scoring list if he comes back next year.
In comes Isaac Rosean. Knocked away and picked up by Lane Hudson, the 2nd-round pick of the Montreal Canadiens. And Hudson pivots back with it. Really crafty with the puck. Hudson up ahead for Stramel. Was poked away by Adam Engstrom. A lineup change for Team USA. Tyler Boucher, the Ottawa Senators' 1st-round pick, is injured. He's been replaced by Noah Laba. Boucher played in the semifinal game against Canada yesterday. As Lekaramaki brings it out. Goes rink wide to Rosen. Isak Rosean gets bumped and picked up by Hughes. Luke Hughes, long lead pass, chipped ahead by Connors. He finds Jackson Blake. He was in the middle of things last night. Both disallowed goals had his fingerprints on. The first one, he was called for goalie interference, and he was one of the ones jamming away at Milic's pad last night that was called back for goalie interference as well.
The Americans weren't happy with both reviews going against them. First one very contested. The second one pretty obvious. Rand Pecknold talking about 0 for 2 is tough in any game.
Blake goes rink wide to Chaz Lucius. And Lucius winds across the line, holds it. Lucius walks in and shoots. It goes off a leg, and that's skipped away from Sam Lipkin. Puck back in the corner. Janssen goes back for it. Snuggerud trying to flush him, and here's Sandin Pellikka. Gives it back to Janssen. Swedes have 10 players who won gold at the spring IHF Under-18 Championship. And that'll be the core of their team next year in Gothenburg. Snuggerud winds that back for Jack Peart. We get Crunchlow on the boards. Ostlund has that pass go off a skate. Bounces back down to Peart. Thrown ahead by Snuggerud, and Janssen back to pick it up. Ludwig Janssen. Up ahead to Ostlund. Noah Ostlund winds his way and holds the puck. Looks at for Liam Ogren. He couldn't reach it. The puck bounces back to center ice. Sweden stuck on 1 shot in the game. Scoring has been a problem for the Swedes. Since their 11-0 blow win over Austria, they have a real problem generating offense. Duke with a shot, knocked good by Lindbohm. Oscar Pettersson flips that rink wide. Finds Simone Robertson. He was poke checked there by Hudson. Here's Red Savage, son of longtime NHL Brian Savage, and one of 6 American players who has a Canadian dad. Long lead pass to Robertson. Simone Robertson spins back. Savage belted down by Robertson. The puck loose in front. A hard shot there by Sternborg. And the save made by Augustine. Logan Cooley has Team USA on the board. 1-0 in the bronze medal game.
Come on over. Bring your appetite. Bring a friend. Bring a few. Our home is your home. Let us give you the tour. Then you can relax. And a little later, we'll even put on a show. New Brunswick, always inviting.
Stream something big. How about a mountain of blockbusters?
This is your captain speaking.
Plus new originals and exclusive series.
You in town? Is it that obvious?
That's the chief, huh?
You're gonna do first. What do you think I'm gonna do?
And hit shows.
Think we can work with that?
It gets better. Sign up and get 7 days free.
Boom. Sky's the limit, baby girl.
I'll take it.
Awesome, right?
This can become a cultural phenomenon the likes we've never seen before.
Paramount Plus, a mountain of entertainment.
Trailing 1-0, students trying to work their way back into this game, and being physical is one part of it. I think more than you think, he got lined up, and he sees you coming. As Robertson says hello to Red Savage, and then Sternbjorg, the captain, who has just 1 goal, but it was a big one. Shorthanded game winner against Finland in the quarters with under a minute left in the game.
They were down 2-1 in that game with 3.5 to go. Scored to tie it, and then 2.5 minutes later get the shorthanded winner from Sternberg, who hasn't scored a goal all year in the Swedish Hockey League. Sandin Pellikka drops it back to Noran. Knocked back by Fabian Lysell, who does not have a point yet in this World Junior Championship. And Lysell belts down Kenny Connors. That's going to be a penalty on Lysell. And Connors is slow to get to his feet. They may call this 5. The 2 officials conferring at center ice.
Get together, have a conversation. Connors getting up and headed back to the bench. They can always call it a 5, take a look at it, and downgrade it. Oh, that's one of those tricky ones. When you hit from the side board, it's so hard to execute that hit cleanly. He's trying to get through the body, but does get across the front of the face. It would not surprise me if they go 5 on this.
5-minute penalty is under review.
So there you have it. They give the 5.
Right.
Now they can look at the replays themselves and determine. And what's good about the officials in this tournament is they haven't been hesitant to downgrade it to a 2.
To bring it down.
They don't feel like it's some sort of indictment of the original call. They take the 5, they take the look, and then they make their determination.
That, to me, meets the criteria of an IHF 5.
Yep.
That's a pick of the head.
There's almost a little bit of a slew foot while you're at it, too, but it's just, it's a hard hit to execute. When you go right from the side there, you're going almost inevitably to get some part of the head as you come through. And Lysell is not a particularly physical player. I mean, you see that head snap because of the kind of impact the initial collision had for Kenny Connors. And that picture tells it better than that.
What's interesting with the IHF rules is they do not look as much at the outcome, whether the player's hurt or not. They view it more as a protection issue, and they're probably more protective at the under 18 and under 20 level than they would be at others, simply because these are young players with long careers ahead of them. So here's the call from Michael Campbell.
After reviewing the play, Team Sweden has been assessed a 5-minute match penalty for checking to the head.
So Lysell is done for the game and for the tournament.
And he'll exit with no points and a 5-minute major to end his tournament. That is disappointing for a guy they were really counting on to help out offensively.
And now the United States goes to a 5-minute power play. So a nightmare start for Magnus Havlet, who talked at his team dinner last night after the semifinal loss about going back home with some pride. And
it's hard.
Have something in your hand.
It's hard.
You played one of these.
I played in a bronze medal game in the World Championship, and we played terribly. We had 1 foot on the plane in the middle of the game, and we lost. And it bugs me to this day.
Show home off the face-off, trying to clear that out. And
even things up right away. Wow.
A holding call going against the U.S. Gavin Brindley.
Team USA number 5, minor penalty, holding.
Some poor discipline from Brindley. You get caught reaching. It looked like it was a foul more than it actually was a foul. I mean, he barely bumps him. Yes, his free hand was on his hip, but yes. I hear you, Rand Pecknoll. I kind of agree with that one.
So 4-on-4 here for the start of this 5-minute major as Cooley winds in. Logan Cooley peels back. Works in. Cooley. Lots of room trying to slide that back. Picked up by Sjöholm. Leo Carlson was streaking away, the draft eligible Swedish player who is by most accounts the number 3 prospect for the upcoming draft. Cooley throws that rink wide to Lane Hudson. Hudson shoots. That was blocked in front by Elias Pettersson. Got a skate on that. Here's Beestead with it. Drops the puck back to Pettersson. Rosén up for Janssen. Ludvig Janssen drops it back off. Rosén gets tied up. Move back for Pettersson. Elias Pettersson to Rosén. Spins away from Ufko. They stay after it. And a poke ahead by Ufko. Snuggerud, his dad Dave played for the United States in the Olympics, also a former Buffalo Sabre. Moves it down to Peart. Jack Peart winds in. Caught it behind the goal by Elias Pettersson. And now Peart back on it. Ostlund moves it back away for Sweden. Centers it for Ludvig Janssen, moving in, trying to drop that back, and the pass was blocked by Savage. Here is Red Savage. His dad, a Canadian Olympian, played the World Championship for Canada as well. A long-time NHL player, primarily with Montreal.
Shared a team down in Arizona together for a few years.
Great hands.
Tremendous shot as well. Back in the day where not everyone could shoot, Savvy was an early adopter of the quick release.
So the U.S. back on the power play now. Here's Luke Hughes with it. U.S. is 6 for 20 in the power play. Jimmy Snuggerud and Tyler Boucher, who's not playing in this game today, lead the way with 2 power play goals each. Boucher, out with an injury, was replaced. Sternborg tied up. And Hughes spins back. Luke Hughes moves away from Wagner. Hughes throws it across to Rutger McGroarty. Drops it back off for Cooley. Logan Cooley down to McGroarty. McGroarty throws that back to Hughes. Winds and shoots off the goalpost. Cooley leaves it across. And McGroarty is shot that's batted down by Wagner. 2 to go in the 5-minute major. Hughes shows it back to Cooley. Cooley back to Hughes. Drops that back across. Gauthier is shot. Lindbom got the glove on it. Hangs on. There's a late whack there by McGroarty, but Lindbom has it. 1:49 to go here in the power play. The shot by Hughes just missed.
Dipped, drizzled, sandwiched, sprinkled, or straight up. There's a million ways to enjoy Cavendish Farms fries, but only one way to make them the right way. Grown, picked, washed, chopped, checked, and packed up just right. Cavendish Farms, made our way, enjoyed your way.
In my book, saving while shopping is a no-brainer, so I use Rakuten to get cash back while I'm book clubbing. Cha-ching! With Rakuten, I get cash back at hundreds of stores.
So how does that work?
Well, stores pay Rakuten to send them shoppers. Then, Rakuten shares that money with us in a check or PayPal payment. It's free and easy.
I think you're missing the plot.
And I think you're missing the cash back.
Cha-ching!
A couple parents we've become very familiar with, Jim and Ellen Hughes, as Quinn, Jack, and now Luke have rolled through the international scene before getting to the NHL. And Luke has been a standout player at Michigan, well for Team USA, the captain, and he rings one off the post. You know, he'd like to get a little hardware to end this tournament with as well.
Ellen, a terrific player, played the 1992 Women's World Championship. And we'll go to the goal line. Duke with a chance. Pad saved by Lindbom. Jackson Blake to the rolling puck. Leaves that back for Ufko. Blake back to Ryan Ufko. Back to Blake. Winds in. Holds. And Blake stays on it. Throws that back. Snuggerud miscued that. And moved back to center ice. The Hughes kids will go 0 for gold medals at the World Junior Championship.
Surprisingly.
Here's Duke with it. Drops it back to Blake. Jackson Blake. Minutes to go in this power play. Snuggerud slides that back to Ufko. Ufko to Snuggerud. Moves in. That's blocked. Second try. Taps wide. Blake hacks at it. And now Wagner whips it back down the ice. Here's Cooley. Back across to Gauthier. Backhands it back in front. Cooley just missed that. Oscar Pettersson works his way in. Pettersson swings back as the Swedes are changing, taking time off the clock. 30 seconds to go on this power play. Milton Oskarsson plays it back. Oskarsson gone through 2 NHL drafts, and you wonder if he's done enough here to maybe grab some attention from NHL scouts. He's 6'6".
These Swedish players, though, they play such a defensive style. It's hard to know what they can do with the puck.
Final second of the power play. McGroarty drops that back. Here comes Cutter. Gauthier moving in. A backhand shot goes high. 4 shots for the U.S. on that power play. Liam Ogren works in. Penalty coming to Team USA. As Brindley touches up. Lekaramaki and Cooley are into it.
It's going to be a hold. On Cooley in the back check.
So the Swedes go to the power play. 6:54 to go in the first.
It's been a sleepy start for Sweden, but maybe that big kill.
Team USA number 92, minor penalty for holding.
5-minute major to Fabian Lysell for checking to the head, of which 2 minutes were 4-on-4. And Lekaramaki stepped out of the box, and this is that's a bit of a no-doubter as Cooley latches on.
But now the problem for Sweden, they're going on the power play. 2 for 21.
In this tournament, with some of the opposition you play against, 2 for 21 is...
Well, let them down against the Czechs. They had chances to put the Czechs away yesterday on the power play. Couldn't do it.
All the first-round picks they have up front. And the leading scoring defenseman in the tournament, Janssen.
Leo Carlson drops it back for Janssen. Plays it back for Roseanne. Isak Roseanne to Janssen. Back across to Carlson. Janssen, who has a power play goal for the Swedes. Roseanne works in. That's knocked back out by Charlie Stramel. Carlson gets bumped, picked up by Savage, shorthanded. He's got a shorthanded goal in the tournament. Brought back in by Beasted. Philip Beasted, first round pick of San Jose. He falls in the corner. Carlson back on it. Roseanne with it. Game after game, we've seen the Swedes unable to generate any kind of consistent pressure on the power play.
Sometimes as they get set up, but even maybe more perplexing is once they're set up, they don't challenge. They pass it around the edge and take a shot, turn it over, and it gets cleared.
Ostlund drops it back to Oscar Pettersson. Liam Ogren with it. Lekaramaki back for Sandin Pellikka. Cross he goes to Ostlund. Sandin Pellikka shoots. Save made. Rebound and knocked away by Augustine. 2 good stops there. Now Pellikka with it. Sandin Pellikka shoots at the punch wide. Lekaramaki backs it back around to Ostlund. Noah Ostlund to Ogren. 25 seconds to go on the power play. Oscar Pettersson slides that back to Lekaramaki. Takes a return pass from Sandin Pellikka. Ostlund with it. Back for Sandin Pellikka. 10 seconds to go on the power play. Sandin Pellikka works it and shoots, and Augustine makes the glove save on that.
Augustine with a couple nice stops. One of his own making, though. Rebound control probably not ideal. The first long shot from Sandin Pellikka. He drops it right down to Ogren. And he forces himself to make a couple really good saves. As Ogren has 1 goal in the tournament, still looking to add to that pile. And then see a lot of this with the fronting of defensemen on the power play, trying to wrist shots down almost like passes for tips.
Markstrom, as time winds down, drops that back to Sjöholm in shoot. Pinballs around in front. Cooley steps out, and Savage finds him on the pass. In comes Cooley with a head of steam. Oh, goes behind the back, drops it back. That's not good by Wagner. And a little taste of what Logan Cooley can do at high speed. 3 shots for the Swedes, and that power play remains a 1-0 U.S. lead as Augustine pounces on that. 4:34 to go here in the first period. 1-0 the U.S. with a bronze medal game lead.
Hey, what are we doing for the Chevrolet Good Deeds Cup this year? As much as we can! That's good! What about donating clothes? That's good. Washing cars? Got Mom an ice cream?
It's about more than the goals they score. It's about life skills they learn. It's about friends they make. It's about their love for hockey. None of it would be possible without the assist you can provide. The Hockey Canada Foundation Assist Fund is breaking down barriers to get Canadian youth on the ice and in the game. Every child deserves the chance to play. Donate now at hockeycanadafoundation.ca.
NFL on TSN continues Saturday with a season finale. Doubleheader action kicks off with a matchup between the Chiefs and the Raiders and continues with a showdown between the Titans and the Jags. All gets underway 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific on TSN. Face-off won by Logan Cooley. Back for Hughes, and Luke Hughes. Up for Cooley. The Snuggerud walks in and shoots, and a pad save by Lindbom. And that's what Snuggerud does.
He does, and he knows it. Like he always is putting himself in a spot to shoot.
Off by Gauthier. And then Janssen stole it back for Sweden. Rink wide pass for Sternborg. Drops it back for Lekkerimäki. That pass intercepted by Hughes. Still remember his performance in the August tournament. Edmonton playing with basically one leg the last 2 games was just terrific for Team USA. Gauthier winds in. Tries to drop that back and finds Lane Hudson. Hudson. Poke check by Lekkerimäki, but the puck stayed in. Tap back in by Luke Middlestad. His older brother Casey was the MVP of this tournament in 2018 in Buffalo. Middlestad brings it back around. Blake looking for it. Here's big Milton Oskarsson. Lugs the puck in behind the goal. Brought up by Hudson. Rink wide he goes to Lucius. Chad Lucius Harkless with Sjöholm there. Lucius lost his stick. And the puck rolled right by him. Sjöholm. Up through center ice. Liam Ogren chips that back down in the American zone. 3 to go here in the first period. Just the 2 games on this ice surface today. There were 3 yesterday. The second relegation game was played between Latvia and Austria. Latvia won the best of 3 in 2 games. So Latvia stays in the top division. Austria relegated. And we've got a penalty coming to Ostlund for interference. And CBS will go to the power play here with 2:44 to go in the period.
I think the ice makers are happy about that. Being wrapped up in 2 games as the ice was...
Sweden number 12, minor penalty for interference.
Showed the effects of 3 full games and 3 full houses. And here is the interference. Jackson Blake hadn't yet got there, and Ostlund ties him up. So the U.S. back to the power play.
It's 4 shots in that extended power play. It was supposed to be a 5-minute major, but there was a quick 2 against the U.S. to take it down to a 3-minute power play.
The U.S. does a good job going through the seams, underneath the coverage. And that's how they open up their best looks.
They're officially 0 for 2 on the power play because the first one was 5 seconds long. Then the penalty. Then the peek out the back for 3 minutes.
That counts as 2 different ones. Did not know that.
If you score in a 5-minute major, it counts as 2 different ones.
Right, so you have to go, if you score 3, it's 3 for 3.
Yeah.
I'd rather be 3 for 1 just to mess up the entire, all the percentages of success.
You can't go 2 for 1 in the power play.
That's how Canada do it.
Away comes Hughes, streaking through center ice. I would love to have seen the backyard rink at the Hughes home. Now, they were in Florida for the first part of it, but they lived in Toronto for a while. Because all three brothers are world-class skaters. There's Hughes with it. Luke Hughes back across to Cutter Gauthier. That pass picked up by Milton Oscarson, who has a short-handed goal in the tournament.
What if you're the poor neighborhood kid who gets invited over to even up the numbers? You're never going to touch the puck.
No.
Those three dancing around out there for hours on end, playing keep away with each other.
Blake works in, drops that back. Lucius drops for Duke. Snuggerud plays it back to Ufko. Back across to Blake to the goal mouth. Duke back for Blake. And Sternberg got a stick on that. Blake back with it to the point to Ufko. Ufko across to Snuggerud. Snuggerud back to Ufko. To Snuggerud winds and shoots. He hammered that wide. Bouncing puck and Lindbaum takes out the inboards and hangs on it. Now Sternberg's into it. And bodies flying in here. Now you got to be careful. This may be the last game of this tournament. If you were to get suspended, it carries over
internationally.
Yeah.
Or whenever you play.
Yeah.
So Carl Lindbaum has played every minute of every game that Sweden has played.
Yes.
So this would be his 6th game in this building. He knows the stanchions are strange. So that one goes short side every time. The goalie should think that's going out over his left shoulder. And he checks. He tracks it right into the glass knowing, I don't know where this is going to go. And is able to make an athletic-looking grab on a strange bounce. But he knows that those stanchions will kick out strange bounces quite often.
Here's Blake knocking that down. 20 seconds to go on the power play. Blake puts it that wide. Duke back on it. Duke for Snuggerud. Snuggerud plays that back to Ryan Ufko. For Snuggerud. Centers the tip wide by Lucius. Blake. Hard around. Snuggerud reaches for it. The puck by him and back down to the American zone. 45 seconds to go in the period. Final seconds of the power play. Running by Snuggerud. Shoots. Lindbaum makes the save. One shot on goal for Team USA in that power play.
They say that Sweden's power play hasn't been very good, but their penalty kill on the flip side has been spectacular. 18 for 19 coming into this first period. That makes them 0 for 3, so that's what, 21 of 22.
With 2 short-handed goals scored, so they're actually
up.
They're plus.
They got to take more penalties to kickstart the offense.
Just couldn't get anything going yesterday against Czechia, even with the early lead. It just was such a defensive game.
Yeah, I mean, part of that's on Czechia. Part of that is Sweden really decided to just sit back and try to nurse a 1-0 lead all the way to the house. They almost got there.
They scored 11 in their first game against Austria, and then kind of dried up after that 9 in the next 5 games.
As good as their goalie has been, as good as their defense and PK, it's hard to win it all. You got to score at least 3 a game.
That puck bounces in the American bench, and Blake Dahl, 16 seconds to go in the period. So tight turnaround today. We'll get the bronze medal presentations after this game, and then you'll get Canada and Czechia in the gold medal game tonight.
Looking forward to that one. We're not the only ones. People camped out in front of the building, lawn chairs and tents and all kinds of stuff going out there.
A few dozen tickets went on sale today that were from the hold.
I think people were waiting all night for those.
Yeah.
So great. The energy in the city for this tournament.
Sandin Pellikka. Long shot, hit a leg in front. Carlson centered the ball on a stop of Augustine, and again on the rebound of Wagner. Trey Augustine makes 2 great stops there. Now a penalty coming.
Easted just got his stick right in the chops of Sean Behrens, and he'll be headed to the box. But Trey Augustine with his best of the game. Broken coverage here down low. As Peart starts chasing the puck and leaves Wagner all by himself. 1
Team
and
Sweden,
2.
Number 18, minor penalty for high sticking.
Augustine cleans it up, makes the save and the rebound. As you mentioned, he's still likely to be here next year for the U.S.
You see the high stick at the end of it.
And Beested gets a stick right into Behrens as the scrum ensues. So another power play for the States.
7.7 to go in the period. You see Beasted being called right away.
Yeah, see that? You're wondering, well, did the guy behind him push him? No, he went up there and got his full value.
And the U.S. will have a minute and 53 seconds of power play time to carry over into the second period, up 1-0 after.
My daughter loves reading. It's like her happy place. It turns out this is something she shares with her great aunt, Florence Morell. Books were Florence's happy place too. I discovered on Ancestry that Florence had a book published before she came to Canada. Once she settled here, she became a teacher and was able to keep sharing her stories with her students. Get to know your family story. Get started for free at ancestry.ca.
The record-breaking online World Juniors 50-50 is back this holiday season. Don't miss your chance to win more and give more. December 19th to January 5th. Proceeds will benefit important charitable initiatives in your community and support girls hockey programming. Go to worldjuniors5050.ca or scan the QR code on your screen to get your tickets. You could be our next lucky winner, and you can take home half the total pot in your province. Don't miss out. Pick up your World Juniors 50-50 tickets today.
You ain't living your best life?
My best life is when I have dragons to slay.
We're going to see heavy rains and wide path of destruction.
It's raining frogs!
I'm sorry, did you say frogs?
That was even weirder than the volcano.
Nothing is as weird as lava at mini golf.
Just wait around a minute. Something awful's bound to happen.
Get into a new season of 911 Lone Star, Tuesday, January 17th, only on CTV.
The first intermission is brought to you by Destination Moncton Dieppe.
Seventh goal of the tournament for Logan Cooley. He also trails only Connor Bedard in goals and points, and he's standing by with our Kenzie Lalonde.
Well, Logan wrapped up that first period with a power play and again a 5-minute power play chance earlier in that first period. What are you seeing on the man advantage?
Yeah, I mean, I just think we need to simplify a little bit. I think we're getting too cute out there. I just think we need to get more pucks to the net. We've had some good looks, too, so we just got to keep going.
Well, you found success. Your line's been fun to watch with Snuggerud and Gauthier. How has it been playing with them this tournament?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, obviously, we had the chance to play 2 years with each other at the NTDP, so, you know, there's a lot of connection there, and, you know, we've had a pretty good tournament so far, and hopefully we keep it going.
This is your second World Juniors, but a chance at your first medal. What would it mean to you to win bronze today?
Yeah, it means a lot. I mean, obviously, you never want to finish second or third, but, you know, it happened, and obviously a medal is still huge. So, yeah, it means a lot, and hopefully we get it here.
Thanks, Logan.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, he's getting into the habit of this. Last night it took him 1:19 to score the first goal against Canada. A little late tonight, 2 minutes and 51 seconds. Cheryl Pounder and Bob McKenzie alongside. He talked about being too cute, but the first goal really wasn't cute. It was old-fashioned, chase it in, forecheck, and score.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that a nice recipe to have? You know, just put the puck in deep, find a way to get on it hard, and then turn it over and put it in the net, and that's exactly what happened. That top line, they can score from all over the ice, whether it's off the rush, off the cycle, and yes, off of the forecheck. Great job job here with an active stick by Snuggerud. Just see it right there. Then once he turns the puck over, look at his body position. So he shields, so the defender cannot get back in. But how about Logan Cooley? He's actually up high here. He's lost in coverage, and then he drops down with perfect timing to finish that one off for his 7th. But that's exactly why he's led this team in that inner slot shot area. It's all about timing and recognizing exactly where the coverage is.
We see this, Bob, from time to time at this tournament where a player is really good when he comes here at, say, 18 years old, and then they come back at 19 and it's not quite the same. And various reasons. Fabian Lysell, you know, maybe I can't read his mind. Maybe he wasn't into it. Maybe he was just snake bitten this tournament. But he exits very quietly with that major.
Yeah, it's a disastrous tournament for Lysell, the Boston Bruin first rounder, who's played this season in Providence in the American Hockey League and has put up some decent numbers in the AHL. He started off trying to do too much one-on-one stuff and basically played his way down the lineup until he was the 13th forward, and then he gets this major penalty in the first period, and it's just an ill-advised play where he comes in. You've got to be so careful in international hockey, any contact to the head, and he just comes in and he just plows over his man, number 27, Kenny Connors, hits him directly in the head. Now, the Americans were not able to take advantage of the power play, in part because they took a penalty for part of it, but nevertheless, 0 points for Fabian Lysell, and constantly, steadily going down the lineup and now out of the tournament with that hit to the head.
Certainly not the only Swedish offensive player who's been struggling of late. Why can't they seem to generate anything off the rush or get any sustained pressure?
Well, one of the reasons why is they're played really tough one-on-one, but anytime you enter the offensive zone, you have to fight for position and get to the interior of the ice. I thought they did a good job at the beginning of the period to get some really good, clean exits and know where they could support the puck to be able to get the exit, use east, west, north, south, and be able to gain entry. But once they were able to get in, that's where the real problem started. So again, just having that quick, close support right off the hop, you should be able to gain some momentum. Then, of course, they got shut down, and they get shut down because the Americans did a really good job of protecting the interior of the ice. And it's all about one-on-one hockey and how you can't get by, and if you want to be able to get by during one-on-one hockey, you have to fight for the mid lane of the ice, and that's something that Sweden didn't do overly effectively until, of course, they got on the power play where they got some chances.
And now Philip Bistad is in the penalty box for the next minute and 53 seconds, another ill-advised penalty for Sweden.
We have more ahead for you here in intermission number 1. Of course, getting set for the gold medal game. We have a full 1-hour pregame show to get you ready for Canada and Czechia. Logan Cooley with his 7th. 2 behind Bedard. As for points, he has 13. Way behind Bedard. Don't even start to think about him chasing him there.
Get your Hockey Canada gear at shop.hockeycanada.ca. The largest selection of Hockey Canada gear anywhere. Shop now and get today's special offer. Shop.hockeycanada.ca. A Fanatics experience.
Men, are you urinating more often? Are you waking at night to go? Nearly all men will develop BPH during their lives, and half of them will have more frequent urges to urinate. Reduce the symptoms of BPH with Super Beta Prostate, the brand recommended most by real urologists. It's the fastest growing prostate supplement in Canada because it's proven to help you reduce the extra bathroom trips and take back control. Get urologist recommended Super Beta Prostate.
Who said you can't teach an old dog new tricks?
Hockey fans, get your Hockey Canada gear at shop.hockeycanada.ca. The official online store of Hockey Canada and the largest selection of Hockey Canada gear anywhere. Get jerseys, men's and women's tees, hoodies, headwear, and more. Don't miss out. Shop now and get today's special offer. Shop.hockeycanada.ca. A Fanatics experience.
Brace yourself for what you're about to see.
That's fun.
Brain
greenwashing, and even branding.
Better, meaner, wilder. Justin Trudeau! I love it here. I love it!
Don't know if we've seen more of Josh Ross or Connor Bedard at this World Juniors. It's a toss-up. Gold medal game, 5:30 Eastern for a 1-hour pregame show. The drop of the puck a little after 6:30 Eastern time. Czechia's only regulation win over Canada in the history of this tournament came on Boxing Day. No better place to get even than the gold medal game. Mark Masters spoke with the Canadian captain, Shane Wright.
Shane, we're hours from the gold medal game at the World Juniors. What are you feeling right now?
Yeah, a lot of excitement. Obviously, this is what we prepared for the last month and a bit here, and you know, this is what we worked so hard for. You know, this is the moment that we want to put ourselves in. Now that it's here, I think we're really excited to go. Really looking forward to the game tonight, and obviously a little preparation day this morning, and just can't wait to play tonight for sure.
What do you remember about that Boxing Day game against Czechia that you'll bring into tonight's game?
Yeah, I remember they're a strong physical team. They're well structured. They play the game the right way, and you know, they don't give you any inch. You have to earn every opportunity you get, every chance you want to get scoring opportunity. So it's gonna be a tough game. They're really good at point. They've had a really good tournament, really strong tournament so far, and should be a really good game tonight.
Joshua Waugh told us he felt like they were pretty cocky after they won that game, and that stuck with him. Did you pick up on that at all?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, going off the ice after the game, I heard them cheering, and I think that's just kind of a lot of motivation for us. We hate losing, especially when it's the team's kind of wooed in their faces like that. So yeah, it's obviously I want to make sure that doesn't happen again tonight. I want to make sure that we're the team that's gonna be celebrating after.
It's your birthday. How's the birthday been? You hearing it from your teammates?
Yeah, everyone's wishing me happy birthday so far. It's obviously pretty cool being have my birthday on the gold medal game, and yeah, it's definitely a cool day for sure. And the guys are definitely wishing me happy birthday here.
One of 4 Canadian players to celebrate their birthday either yesterday or today. What a present would be a gold medal. This tournament, of course, has been a massive success on and off the ice, but Hockey Canada still has a lot of work to do to restore the confidence of Canadians. Kenzie Lalonde spoke to their Senior Vice President, Pat McLaughlin.
Well, Pat, the last 2 days, the newly elected board of directors and chair met. Can you share us how those discussions went?
Sure, Kenzie, and thanks for having us here today. I can tell you that December 17th was a significant day for the organization. That was the election of our new board, and I don't use the word significant lightly. The new board's only been in place not quite 3 weeks. They've been very diligent with virtual meetings, and the last 2 days were our first face-to-face meetings, a lot of strategic discussion, material discussion, and discussion to help advance Hockey Canada forward as we move into the next number of months.
So when you look at the next 6 months, for example, what are the priorities for Hockey Canada?
Well, I'd say there's 2 or 3 things, Kenzie. The first of all is the board has a significant mandate that's provided to them by our members, so our members from coast to coast to coast, and by Justice Cromwell and his team. So there's a lot that they have to focus on. Secondarily, we have to run the day-to-day operations. We have 650,000 participants from across the country, and we have a big, important piece to do there. And then I would say very, very important are some of our key stakeholders. First of all, our members. I would say second of all, our sponsors, who we call partners, because sponsors implies a one-way relationship, and really this is about a partnership, and so we have a lot more to do there, as everyone knows. And then the third area is really around government. The parliamentary group, the Heritage Committee, Minister St. Onge has been very clear where they see Hockey Canada, but they've also acknowledged that we're making some strides, and we have a lot of work to continue to do to prove the Canadians and earn their trust. So we're really excited about the future. There's a lot to build on, and we're really excited where we're headed.
Well, we look at this event in particular, I think for Pat, for yourself and I, we know what a small town can do. We both spent many years in Sackville, New Brunswick, a small town community that thrives on sports. And here it's been maybe not to a surprise for both of us, the way the Maritimes have really pulled around this event. Has it exceeded your expectations at all?
Well, now you're putting me in trouble because it's supposed to be talking national, but I'm put the Pat McLaughlin hat on for a second. I can't tell you how proud I am of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. I'm a proud Atlantic Canadian. It's been unbelievable. The economic impact in the community is more than $50 million, 300 plus strong volunteers, and I couldn't be more happy. There's a lot of money that's been raised to go back into the communities around safe sport, around inclusiveness, and around the growth of women and girls hockey. So really proud of Atlantic Canada and proud to call St. John, New Brunswick home.
Pat, thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
I was tempted by the idea of simple investing, but I really missed RBC's expertise. I guess a one-size-fits-all approach might work for some, not me. Now I'm back to the personalized advice I need.
With Eastside Mario's all you can eat, you manja, manja, manja.
Oh, Pop, they got more salad. Oh, Pop, they got more soup. Oh, Pop, they got more garlic home loaf. Manja, mama, manja. Hey, bada boo, bada bing.
Across the nation, the Canadian Hockey League is known for investing in moments like this. But did you know we're also investing in this and this? While you're probably used to seeing us here, we're also here and here. Through the CHL Scholarship Program, clubs award nearly $10 million each year, helping thousands of former players continue their education. So while you're seeing this, we're also doing this. The CHL, developing tomorrow's leaders.
The first intermission was brought to you by Destination Moncton Dieppe.
Logan Cooley's strong World Junior Championship continues. He's got his 7th goal of the tournament. The U.S. had a long power play in that period, couldn't convert, just a 1-0 lead after 20 minutes of play. And Logan Cooley continues to put his stamp on this tournament.
In a game that did not have a ton of speed or a ton of creativity, we looked at Logan Cooley before the game. He delivered in the first period as the most impactful American forward to play any forward in the game, where he was on it, he was engaged, he added that bit of skill, that he found the open ice in the neutral zone, which he does so incredibly well. And we got a sense of how he likes to play at high speed. Took a penalty, he was on the scored a goal as well. And if you keep putting the U.S. on the power play, you're going to see more and more of what Logan Cooley does really well, which is take the puck, get in the zone, and then set up himself or his line mates for good scoring chances. He's been America's best forward all tournament long. He was America's best forward in the first period.
And they'll start this period in the power play for 1 minute and 53 seconds. We want to say hello and so long to a dear friend of ours. This is Dr. Phil Johnson. In 2005, in his hometown of Grand Forks, North Dakota, he became the Team USA doctor for the first time. He's worked 17 tournaments since then as the U.S. physician over the holidays. This will be his last. He's retiring. He'll still work for the IHF Medical Commission, but he's been a great friend of ours. He's been sometimes our doctor when we're away from home, and he's the Dr. Phil with a great heart, and we'll miss him. It's a lot to give up. You think about it?
A lot of sacrifice. I mean, you know it. You've been here for 30 years. This time it's the year to be part of this tournament.
Engstrom lobs that down. I'm not a volunteer, pal.
Well said. Well said. I should know better than that. So the U.S. back to another power play. And I wonder if they had a little conversation about execution, because as good as they were heading in, 30% on the tournament, not really dangerous the first period.
Face off, one back by Cooley.
And you have to figure the way Sweden's offense is run, if you can get to 3 goals, you have a pretty good chance of winning a medal.
In comes Cooley for McGorty. After McGorty plays that back to Hughes. Flips that back to Gauthier. Cutter Gauthier bangs that back to Hughes. Cross he goes. Cooley to Hughes. Brings it back across. Gauthier has a look. That pass picked up. Engstrom to the line, but not out. Picked up by Hughes. Gauthier drops that back. McGroarty works it and fires off the end of the stick of Lindblom. It goes up and out of play.
Good idea by McGroarty. He sees Pettersson trying to press up on the half wall. And he takes the puck that ends up below him and attacks the net. Good patience, and the shaft of the stick getting in the way. Again, good quick release, even though he's being contested. Gets it up, and he had Lindblom beat. And pesky top of the stick gets it again.
It's amazing how often that happens.
Yep.
Upco. And that pass go off a stick. So 17 of these players played full-time for the U.S. National Team Development Program in Plymouth, Michigan. So they got there as 16 and 17-year-olds. They've spent a couple years there together. Then some have gone on to college elsewhere. But this will be the last game together for the bulk of this group. Played the under-18s together. Play games against USHL teams and college teams.
That would mean something. The last, you know, those are really important years in your life and in your hockey life as well. You want to end on a, and they've done a lot of winning together, a lot of success individually and collectively.
Snuggerud drops that back to Ufko. In comes Snuggerud, back to Ufko. Shoot, scores! Ryan Ufko makes it a 2-0 Team USA lead with 2 seconds to go on the power play.
Ufko's had a sneakily productive tournament. It's his 9th point with his first goal. And good entry by Jackson Blake. Walking right around Wagner, slipping it through his triangle, gets the offensive zone, and then look at the bodies. That's well done. There's 3 American forwards around the line of sight for Lindblom, plus a few defenders as well. He just can't track it to the wrong side of the pile. Ufko's head up the whole way, just trying to sift it down to the net. Does a good job of it. And there's that power play goal. Second goal now, 2-goal lead for the States. Look out.
Ufko is at the University of Massachusetts, Amherst, a Nashville 4th-round pick. 5 of the 7 defensemen for the U.S. are under 6 feet tall, including Ufko.
Puck movers with their feet and with their passing, and they've been pretty effective in this tournament. Shoved by Duke, staying out of the blue paint, so there'll be no goalie interference, but really bothering Lindblom, trying to make the save.
Very quiet pass, picked off by Connors, who slaps that down to the Swedish zone. This is now a deep hole for Sweden, which is 0-3 all-time in bronze medal games against the United States.
Team USA, power play goal, scored, play number 6.
U.S. seeking a 5th medal, or a 6th medal rather, in the last 8 years. For a program that has really become dominant, especially at the under-18 level, since the National Team Development Program was founded 25 years ago. Engstrom swings back for it. That pass at center ice, intercepted by Middlestat. Middlestat fires it back in. Engstrom was poke checked. Turns that over to Duke. And Duke pivots back. Lines that down to McGroarty. The Middlestat, he shoots. That was blocked. The bouncing puck picked up by Bistad and moved ahead. Fabian Lysell of Sweden got a 5-minute penalty to game misconduct for a check to the head. So he's out of the lineup for the Swedes.
Which you think might be a really big blow, but he's got no points in the tournament. We're having 6 and 7 games in the summer.
Lekamäki works in. Drops it up to Bistad, walks in and shoots, scores! Philip Bistad gets Sweden back in it. Down 2-1.
All the top guys are coming to play in the final game. Bistad, the most productive Swedish forward, and what makes this shot dangerous is allowed to step into it with confidence and patience. No one's challenging him from behind. He's got a big gap. to the defender in front so we can really lean on that shot, not worrying about getting it off quickly, as Pierce was stuck a little bit low in the defensive zone on the quick transition counter. Biested.
Is the U.S. looking at reviewing this for an offside?
After their experience last night, they want to get on this review party, taking goals away.
They will not challenge it. So 1:42 after the U.S. took a 2-0 lead. Biested, the San Jose first-round pick, gets them back. He was picked 27th overall in the 2022 draft. Roseanne trying to center it. That's picked up by Cooley. An explosive skater. Logan Cooley brings it out. In comes Cooley. Drops that back. Peart with a hard shot. He ripped it wide. Jack Peart, Minnesota second-round pick from Grand Rapids, Minnesota. Knocks that free. Back to Gauthier. Shoots. Whistled that wide. Snuggerud leaves it back to Cooley. Cooley back down to Gauthier. Cutter Gauthier knocked down by Noran. Now Ledford. Cooley works right in. Poke check there by Sandine Pelican. And Hughes had it knocked away from him by Roseanne. That pass in, knocked down by Lekkerimäki. Feet to the head. Here comes Ogren on the breakaway. Liam Ogren in, shoots, and a pad save by Augustine. And suddenly the Swedish offense springs to life. Now Lucius steals. He comes back the other way. Chaz Lucius and scores! And a dagger from Team USA. Chaz Lucius, moments after the Swedes were stopped on a breakaway, gets one of his own and makes it 3-1.
What a finish by Lucius. After this breakaway by Ogren, one of the fastest skater on Sweden. You are not going to catch him, but he has had a hard time finishing plays at the net, despite creating quite a few. And that is not a problem that Chaz Lucius has at all. Drop pass, and Janssen blows an edge a little bit, and that is a nice back against the grain shot by a righty. Up and over quickly. Lindbaum's shoulder right in the corner. And the U.S. restores their 2-goal lead.
1:31 after the Swedes had drawn within one. Chaz Lucius, the Winnipeg first-round pick from 2021, playing this year for the Manitoba Moose, restores the 2-goal lead. That is a big swing. And away comes Lucius with it. Up ahead for Blake. Spins back. Blake. Back to Behrens. That shot is blocked. Brought out by Sjöholm. Trey Augustine. Leaves that back. Here's Lipkin with it. Biested throws it back down the American zone. Behrens back with it. Picked up by Engstrom and puts it back down to the American zone. Here's Hughes back with it. Brings it back around. Picked up by Sandine Pellikka. Back at the point. That long shot taken by Oscar Pettersson, knocked away by Augustine. Behrens in on it. Milton Oscarson tries to knock that free, and now it is work free to Simone Robertson. Luke Hughes rides him off. Oscar Pettersson winds into the American zone as both teams change. Here comes Pettersson in, shoots, scores! Pettersson goes shelf, and Sweden's back within one. His first goal since the opening day of the tournament.
Well, they weren't taking a high-scoring affair in this one, but all of a sudden Sweden waking up, and Sean Behrens takes a bit of a bad angle on the attempted pitch off at the blue line, and Pettersson chips it to himself, so you can't take it off him. Skates into it clean, use that long reach to get the puck back to the middle of the ice, and that is a tremendous Finish roll gets just a piece of the glove of Augustine, and then right up and under the bar. But this game has gotten just a little bit sloppy on both sides this second period, which leads to good offense.
4 goals in 4 minutes and 44 seconds.
Wow.
And a 3-2 USA lead. Pettersson, third-round pick of the Ottawa Senators in the most recent draft, jumped up 33 spots in the final Central Scouting ranking. Playing this year for Rögle in the Swedish Hockey League, one of the top programs in Sweden these days. Won the Champions League a couple years ago. The European club competition for the top teams in the various countries.
Canadians, the Abbott brothers running that organization.
Yeah.
Great job of it. Well, I like this kind of game, Gord. Signed up for this one. Back and forth we go.
Yeah, those low-scoring, tight checking affairs are not your cup of tea, are they?
Not if I could choose. The players like playing these ways too. Coaches don't like these kind of games so much, but the players do.
Norea swings back for Sweden. And Augustine careful that shoot in as it rattled around the glass. Cooley up for Snuggerud. And Sandin Pellikka knocks him off stride. Liam Ogren up for Ostlund, finds Sandin Pellikka. Swedes break in 4 wide. Drop back, and comes Strongren with it. Strongren throws it back in front. Sandin Pellikka jumped up, just missed on that. Brought back out by Cooley. Elias Pettersson knocks him down. Cooley looked back at the referee, and the referee just nodded at him. Put back down the American zone. Here. Moved that by Wagner. McGroarty got bumped off the puck by Bistad. Back at the point. Pettersson a shot that goes wide. Bistad reaching for it. Now knocked out by Duke. And Janssen sends it right back down to the American zone. Ufko turns the puck over to Bistad. Drops it back to Wagner. Plays it across. Score! Leo Carlson as Sweden takes advantage of the turnover to tie the game.
This game has gotten so loose so quickly as Ufko just toes that puck. He has everyone flying up the ice, and it's a quick 3-on-2 and a good feed. He just misses the puck, unfortunately. And some nice passing, and Leo Carlson has had a good tournament, draft eligible, likely the 3rd pick taken in this draft upcoming. Sporting the effects of a nose injury he got last game.
5 goals in 7 minutes in the second period. Carlson scored twice against the Finns in the quarterfinal. As you mentioned, the likely number 3 pick in the upcoming NHL draft, making his presence felt. So back and forth they go, and that shot off the mask of Carl Lundberg goes up and out of play. So the scoring keeps piling up. Chaz Lucius restores the 2-goal lead, but then Oscar Pettersson snaps one, and Leo Carlson follows up 3-3 to score.
It calls you to a place with no boundaries, where the trail ends and the beyond begins. The 2023 Chevrolet Silverado ZR2 is ready. Are you?
Some plan to relax, and others look for adventure. But no matter your reason for visiting, one thing's guaranteed. From the moment you step on this island, you feel a little lighter. Come find your island, Prince Edward Island.
Detroit's most powerful and feared crime family is back. From executive producer Curtis 50 Cent Jackson comes another explosive season of BMF, streaming Friday, January 6th on Stars. So a 5-goal second period that's not yet half over.
Team Sweden goal scored by number 21.
The game is tied at 3. Luke Hughes with the shot that's blocked. And Oscar Pettersson breaks out 3-on-2 for the Swedes. Pettersson. And punched on the boards by Barons. And back comes Luke Hughes to lead the rush the other way.
Time of the goal, 8:52.
Lipkin plays it back in. At the side of the goal, Lipkin throws that back in front, picked off, and that's out. Oscar Pettersson's going to go for delay of game, and the U.S. is going to the power play with 10:21 to go here in the period. And he knew it right away.
Sailed on him. Pettersson's already scored a goal. It's a rolling
Team
puck.
Sweden, number 27, minor penalty delay game.
And anytime you have a rolling puck on your blade, it's harder to control the trajectory, especially when you're trying to feel it into the glass a little bit. He sails it, and the Americans back to the power play. As the microchip puck has to be returned.
Yes.
They have data tracking chips in there.
Hughes plays it across to Cooley on the American power play. Brindley plays it across. Gauthier shoots. Great stop by Lindholm. Back at the point, Hughes. Hughes it across. Gauthier fires. That was blocked by Elias Pettersson. McGroarty slides that back across Cooley for Gauthier. And move back down the ice. Saves have not really been the story so far in this game, but Lindholm made a good one there.
This has not been a defensive masterpiece by either team or goaltender.
And away comes Cooley for McGroarty. Rink wide to Gauthier. Gauthier drops for Hughes, moving in. Luke Hughes. Had his pass blocked by Schoen. Hughes shoved down. Took a whack in the back of the leg there. McGroarty. Back for Cooley. Across he goes. Gauthier shoots, scores! Power play goal for Cutter Gauthier, and the United States is back on top. They've scored on 6 of the last 10 shots between the two teams.
Save percentage are taking a beating. And Gauthier's on that far side. There to shoot. He kind of cues that one a little bit wide off the toe, but he gets all of this. Logan Cooley gets it underneath the coverage, squares it up, and whoa. Swings hard. He's going short side. Look at the huge windup. Picks it clean and right over the shoulder. No chance for Lindholm on that shot from Cutter Gauthier.
The 5th overall pick in the last NHL draft, playing for Boston College, got 10 goals in 13 games there as an 18-year-old freshman.
Shoot like that, he can score in a lot of leagues.
Good. And back at center ice, here's Mittelstadt with it. Jansen, look out, that goes rocking to the American bench. And play is called. 8:58 to go here in the second period. Goals aplenty in the bronze medal game.
Push it, whip it, bring it, earn it, get it, got it.
Hey Siri, send Fred $20 for some barbecue. He's about to get smoked.
Switch to RBC and get the new AirPods Pro at no cost.
With Eastside Mario's all you can eat, you manja, manja, manja.
Oh, Pop, they got more salad. Oh, Pop, they got more soup. Oh, Pop, they got more garlic home loaf. Manja, mama, manja. Hey, bada boo, bada bing.
The Bell & Howell Bionic Spotlight, the outdoor motion sensor light that is motion activated, so it automatically turns on the instant motion is detected and turns off when the motion stops. Bionic Spotlight is solar powered, so there's no expensive wiring or batteries to change. Simply place it where the solar panel can soak up the sun and you're done. You can get it all. 2 Bionic Spotlights backed by our 5-year warranty for one low value price, and the shipping is free. Bionic Spotlight is all you need. It's guaranteed. Here's how to order.
What has been a busy offensive period the second to put the U.S. back up by 1. Power play goal by Cutter Gauthier. Look at that one-timer for the Boston College Eagle.
6 goals in 8 minutes and 51 seconds.
Team USA, power play goal, scored by number 17.
Finally, the States get a couple in the power play, too. You can't give them that many chances.
Right.
Assisted by number 92.
Sandine Pelican knocks it down. Here's Bistad with it. Philip Bistad plays for Linköping in the Swedish Hockey League. And now Duke drops that back to Snuggerud. Back for Duke. Trying to center it. That was broken up by Sandine Pelican. Wagner goes rink wide for Bistad. Flips that back down towards the American goal. Bistad slams in the middle stat. Hudson to center ice and back down to the Swedish zone. Shots are 20-14 in favor of the United States. The U.S. is 5th last year. Lost a shocking quarterfinal upset to the Czechs. They've won 4 gold medals in the last 13 years, though. Stronger. Where it's in, he's knocked down. And the puck loose in the corner. Chipped ahead. In comes Charlie Stramel. Wisconsin Badger in the NCAA. Stripped there by Ostlund. Plays there for Tony Granato. Ostlund pokes it into Ogren. He was stopped in a breakaway earlier in this period. Up it goes to Ostlund. Drops it back to Ogren. Ogren shoots. Not to stick out of the hands of Brindley. And Stramel plays it back to center ice. Dropped up by Ogren. Back down to the American zone. And Trey Augustine back to pick it up. Augustine will play at Michigan State next year. Picked up by Hughes. Luke Hughes takes a return pass, slices through the Swedish defenders, walks in. Oh, the pen tag saved by Lindholm. Luke Hughes just cut the Swedish defense in half and almost scored there. Pettersson hacked it around at the official skate. And now Roseanne has it back. Isak Roseanne. Ring wide for Lekaramaki. Sternberg moves in, drops it back. Lekaramaki walks in. He lost the handle, feeds that back. Sandine Pelican shot. And Augustine makes the save.
There's some skaters who are going so fast, but they don't really look it because it's so effortless. And Luke Hughes is like this. He's just kind of cruising through the neutral zone. All of a sudden, he's in alone as Swedes get a little confused. Pettersson doesn't challenge him, and it's a really good save by Lindholm, just getting his toe on it. Take it away from Luke Hughes, who does have the fact that he's the only Hughes brother to score a goal in this tournament.
Yes.
To hold over his brothers.
Jack and Quinn combined played 18 games and didn't score. Lucius in, shoots, scores! Chaz Lucius strikes, and the scoring continues as the U.S. is back up by 2.
It's every shift. Just the attention to detail has fallen out of this game. And Moran back there, and he just kind of takes a swing at him, trying to play defense going forward, allowing Lucius to get to his forehand right here. Like, that's an easy play for Lucius to get around Moran. And we've already seen him score once blocker side under the bar. He goes over there again for his second of the period.
That's 7 goals in 11 minutes and 46 seconds in the second period.
Sweden couldn't score. Their life depended on it all tournament long. And they didn't give up anything either.
Snuggerud with a chance. That's stopped by Lindholm. That shot by Peart is blocked. So another 2-goal U.S. lead. Gauthier shoots. That's gloved by Lindholm. It was 2-0 U.S. 3-1. Now 5-3.
And what this game is a game where you put 40 talented skaters offensively who are committed to the game but not entirely dialed in to their maximum focus. Some of it's fatigue, some of it's the disappointment of playing in a bronze medal game, and things just get just a hair looser But when you have this many good players out there, all they need is just that little bit of time and space, and they're making it look easy.
Robertson moves that back down to the American zone, poked ahead, jumping in is Savage on it. Now knocked free by Oscar Pettersson. Pettersson got the Swedes back within 1 at one point. Came back to tie it, but now a 5-3 USA lead. Chipped in by Dylan Duke. And Ogren. Rink wide for Sandin Pellikka. Throws it back in front. Ostlund couldn't quite reach that as Hughes got a stick on him. Elias Pettersson can't hold the line and slides that back. Here is Stromgren with it. For Ostlund. Looks in for Elias Pettersson jumping in. Hughes. Pokes it back around for Duke. Now the side of the goal. Stromgren battles for it. Ogren shoots. That was blocked by Hughes. And now Ogren, another shot that goes wide. Inside 5 to go in the second period. Never mind resurfacing the ice. You're going to have to refresh the nets after this period. Look like bags of coal. So Delius feeds it back across to Noran. Move back to Adelius. That shot was blocked from Ogren. Ogren snaps that pass in for Bistad. In comes Bistad with it. Chris Crosby with Wagner. Bistad. Lost the handle off block. Jackson Blake is back with it. Blake goes off the glass and back around. Sandin Pellikka lined up by Lipkin. And Lipkin with that battle for the puck. Lipkin. Back to the point to Peart. Up court, that shot blocked. Carlson up in for Bistad. U.S. retreating now as the Swedes break in 3-on-2. Leo Carlson works back in the corner. He falls. Upco back with it. And now Peart back with it. Peart, long lead pass for Lipkin. He's got Lucius streaking ahead. Lucius goes between the legs. What a move. Lucius stays on it. Spins, sends it back in front. Rolling puck. That goes through the crease. Great chance for Lipkin. He just missed. Middlestad for Blake. Drops it back for Lucius. That missed. And Middlestad takes it away from Lekkerimäki. Chaz Lucius with some flash and dash.
How slick was that? Little bit of deception.
Hudson drops it back to Snuggerud. Cooling. Poke check by Roseanne. Isak Roseanne moves it on Hudson. That bounced off the end boards and knocked away by Snuggerud. Sandin Pellikka knocks that down. Up to Roseanne. Now brought up by Middlestad. Luke Middlestad. Puts it back in the corner. Moran goes back around for Sandin Pellikka. Up to Roseanne. Gauthier takes that away. His pass picked off by Noran. Middlestad back to Noran. Chipped ahead for Sternberg, the captain of the Swedish team. And Sandin Pellikka plays there to William Stromgren. Calgary's second-round pick swings back. He turned 18 on Boxing Day. Stromgren taken down by Upco. That's to be a penalty against the United States. Interference will be the call. 1:49 to go in the period. So Sweden go to the power play moments after Chaz Lucius emptied the trick bucket on this run.
How can your base layer help you stay active? Make it the only base layer with invisible medical grade knee support. Add 90 feet of high strength cables and make them fully adjustable to give you complete control. Scientifically proven to help you overcome injury, eliminate pain, and give you the confidence to get back out there so you can do more of this, and this, and this. People call them many things. Yeah, magic pants. We call it supportive apparel. Learn more at Stoco.com.
Crosby with a little room to operate. Crosby snaps it. He scores. Passes in front to Kane on the road. Score!
Short-handed on a breakaway. Crowd on its feet. McDavid scores. Bennett circling with that bouncing puck. He scores. Nathan McKinnon.
Bedard to bring him up for Regina. 1-on-2. Step by the defenseman to the net. The Deacon, he scores. Does it get any better than that? Oh my.
The offensive extravaganza could continue here as Renovico takes an interference penalty on Stromgren. He lays the hip into him a little bit late.
You hate to
early.
say it, the Swedish power play might kill the momentum. Janssen moves in and shoots and dribbles down towards the front. Now 2 for 22 on the power play in the tournament. Rosea. Back to Janssen, feeds across. Carlson, a shot. Augustine the save.
2 minutes for interference. Time of the penalty, number 11. Équipe États-Unis, punition numéro 6, point de Règlement pour obstruction. Pendant 218 minutes 11 secondes.
Rosea. Back down to Beeston. Crossing goes to Janssen. Carlson centers a great chance there for Oscarson. Scores! The big man, Milton Oscarson, right in the middle of things, pokes that home, and it's 5-4. It's an 8-goal second period.
Don't want this one to end. Keep it coming. Put big Oscarson down in the front of the net for a reason. He's already got 1 power play goal in the tournament. Finally, they decide to work a play along the goal line. And Leo Carlson, a good feed. Oscarson gets the first shot, and then the puck just sitting behind Augustine. Oscarson finds it first and is able to sweep it home. Good job by the official not blowing the whistle early. The puck was definitely loose in behind Augustine. 8 goals.
So they supply the scorers table with 10 pucks per period. After a goal is scored, they take it out of circulation and mark it.
For safekeeping, memorabilia stuff.
So we're down to 2. I don't think a puck went out. Oh, yeah, 1 went out, so we're down to 1. I think.
You get that back, though. Put it back in the rotation.
Raised foot, Ogren coming in. Augustine played that on his stick. He scores! We might be out of pucks. Of the second period is the wildest.
Somehow it seems appropriate, the high flipper that Augustine does the right thing, get out there, but he fans on it. He passes it right to the stick of Ogren, whose speed puts him under duress. Yeah, he heals it as well. That's not a bad finish from a tight angle from Ogren, who already missed a breakaway in this second period, and all these goals have gotten a little juice back in this game.
Yeah.
5-5.
So goals 26 seconds apart late in the period here, and the Swedes are back to level again. They even the game at 3. Time for one more.
In-house announcement about 3 goals back still. Trying to catch up with this action.
Sternberg sends that down, rattles high off the glass. Out to center ice and knocked down by Elias Pettersson. And a wildly entertaining second period comes to an end. 5-5 is the score. And we got some pucks.
Hey Siri, send Fred $20 for some barbecue. He's about to get smoked.
Switch to RBC and get the new AirPods Pro at no cost.
With dementia, you're adrift. By combining research with a full spectrum of care, Baycrest is pioneering breakthroughs. No other organization leads more researchers working to defeat dementia. We believe 50% of dementia cases can be prevented, but we need your help. Donate now, and together, we'll create a future without fear.
Feel the rush when the world arrives in Brampton this April.
The 2023 IIHF Women's World Championship is coming to the CAA Center.
Canada is the reigning world and Olympic champions, so this is going to be a tournament you don't want to miss.
Your best chance to see Team Canada is to sign up for the priority ticket list. All the games, all the teams, all the excitement.
Don't wait. Sign up now at hockeycanada.ca.
This is your chance. You keep her alive. Save her, you can save her.
You've come this far, and you know what's out there.
You have a greater purpose than any of us could have ever imagined.
Your second intermission. Look at just a giant bin of beer and a giant bin of goals. 9 in that period, a 5-5 tie. I'm excited about this interview because there's no name I enjoy saying more at the World Juniors than Chaz Lucius with Kenzie.
Chaz, 9 goals in that period. Right now, we have a tie game. What was your evaluation of the second period?
Yeah, it was definitely an up and down period for sure. I don't think we want to come out of that period with a tie, but we're going to have to adjust this third period and be better.
You have 2 goals so far in this game. You're generating time and space. What are you seeing out there?
Yeah, I'm playing with good line mates for sure. They're helping out a lot, but as far as the goals go, just kind of shooting the puck and being around the net's the biggest thing right now.
A medal's on the line. Is this group determined to win it?
Yeah, 100%. We have faith in this room, and we're going to give it all we got in the third period.
Thanks, Chaz.
Awesome. Thank you.
James Duthie back with Cheryl Pounder and Bob McKenzie. MJ, who's usually right basically about everything, said earlier in this game when it was tight, if you get to 3 goals, you're probably going to win the bronze medal. 5 is not going to win the bronze medal. The Swedes give them this. In a bronze medal game, you can see teams fold when they fall behind. The exact opposite here.
You know, the first period was the Swedes looked so tight and offensively challenged, as they have through much of this tournament at times, especially against better competition. And then suddenly the floodgates open, and I think some of it was because Philip Bistad, really good San Jose first-round pick, who's been the top forward for Sweden in a lot of ways. He took that bad penalty at the end of the first period. The Americans scored on that and made it 2-0 early in the second, and then playing maybe a little bit guilty. Bistad comes up, snipes that one, and that just kind of opened the floodgates. And then as Pettersson comes up, gets the second goal, a little bit of a boo-boo there by Ufko, and the next thing you know, it's in the back of the net again. This time it's Leo Carlsson, and then you get Oskarsson and Ogren who score those late goals, and suddenly it's the Americans who are melting down in that second period, giving up 5 goals, and Sweden looks like they could blow the doors off of everybody, but they were so offensively challenged before that. It's kind of nice to see Sweden back looking as though they're dangerous.
Right, every time the Americans got a 2-goal lead, which was 3 separate times in the period, you thought the game was over. So all sorts of defensive issues right now, but what did they do so well offensively?
Well, they're connected on their power play, and that's what they were really good at. You know that throughout the tournament, they've been real strong in that area, and the players on the back end of Go, you know, he's been a real leader on the back end in this tournament now, sits with 1 goal and 8 assists, but this all starts getting to the mid lane of the ice and transporting the puck, a nice little evasive move, and then then driving the mid lane to just pull back the coverage, open up some ice in front. Nice little evasive play up top to open it up. Ufko just throws it to the net, but you can see the double stack right there, taking away the eyes of Lindholm as Duke is net front. And then again, second, it's all about puck retrieval, 3 on the puck, so outnumbering the Swedes on the power play. And again, at the blue line, just going one-on-one, beating a player, and then who is winding up for that killer one time? It's Gauthier who's on his offside.
Can I say it one more time? What do you think of the performance of Chaz Lucius?
You can say it twice because he got the 2 goals. But, yeah, you know, Winnipeg Jet first-rounder who's playing this season with the Manitoba Moose of the American Hockey League. And as Moose fans would know, as Winnipeg Jet fans would know, he suffered an injury in December, and I know it was touch and go for him to be healthy and ready to go, but he's able to step up here and get something going offensively. And boy, as the tournament's gone along, he's gotten better and better, and you can see him imposing as well offensively. Got a real good shot and is a very skilled guy, and Winnipeg's got a lot to be excited by there.
I said this last night. It's the greatest named team in the history of the World Juniors. It looks like a fictional hockey team. Chaz Lucius, Cutter Gauthier, Jimmy Snuggerud, Red Savage,
Rutger McGroarty.
Dylan Duke.
They need a pounder.
Rutger McGroarty. 20 minutes away from them trying. They could use a pounder in there, couldn't they? 5-5. Jeff O'Neill will join us, and we'll get you set for the gold medal game. Canada and Czechia next.
Introducing Granite Stone Blue, the fast, easy way to cook gourmet family meals every day. You can get the Granite Stone Blue 12-piece set, not for $500, $400, or even $300, but for the factory direct price of just 5 easy payments of $49.95. And for everyone who orders today, we're going to drop 1 payment. You get it all for just 4 easy payments of $49.95.
Available at Amazon, Canadian Tire, and Home Hardware.
With Eastside Mario's all-you-can-eat, you manja, manja, manja.
Oh, Pop, they got more salad. Oh, Pop, they got more soup. Oh, Pop, they got more garlic home loaf. Manja, mama, manja. Hey, bada boo, bada bing.
AutoTrader has tons and tons of cars. You know, I like looking through the types of cars you can buy. Using AutoTrader is such a no-brainer, which is good for Gio. What?
It's about more than the goals they score. It's about life skills they learn. It's about friends they make. It's about their love for hockey. None of it would be possible without the assist you can provide. The Hockey Canada Foundation Assist Fund is breaking down barriers to get Canadian youth on the ice and in the game. Every child deserves the chance to play. Donate now at hockeycanadafoundation.ca.
When the story unfolded, were you courtside for the drama, the tension, the elation? When the stage lit up?
Stars in action next Friday on TSN. The Oshawa Generals and Kitchener Rangers take to the ice 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Don't miss TSN's expert analysis and CHL insight all season long. With Cheryl Pounder, Jeff O'Neill, and Bob McKenzie. It almost feels a little scripted, doesn't it? Czechia stuns Canada on Boxing Day, and now Canada has a chance for atonement in the gold medal game. And Connor Bedard tries to finish off the best World Juniors by a Canadian ever. The law of diminishing returns just doesn't apply to him. Even though his point totals have dropped 4 straight games. What do you expect when you start with 7 and 6? Bedard earned points on game-winning goals versus Germany, Austria, Sweden, and of course most famously Slovakia before igniting the comeback against the Americans with Canada's first goal. Oh, as someone who has played in this tournament, how mind-boggling has it been to watch Bedard's game-by-game brilliance and production?
Crazy how dominant the performance is, James. Usually when you see the 17-year-old kid with the bubble cage on, there's like fourth line duty, maybe some secondary power play time, James. But for this kid at his age to be that much better than everyone on his team and also everyone in the tournament, it's so incredible. And even coming from the summer tournament, I thought it was more about the shot. Like every time this guy gets the puck, he's going to shoot it and rip it under the bar. His complete game, his ability to run the power play, his ability to pass the puck, and his ability to have a sense of the moment like that overtime goal, it's incredible. Even that goal right there where nothing fancy was happening for Canada, to have the understanding that he's got to do something simple and go to the net, for a 17-year-old kid to be doing all that's incredible.
Of course, it was about much more than Bedard in the semifinals. Numerous heroes for Canada, led by the goaltender, Thomas Milic, who, in Craig Button's words, put on one of the single best goaltending performances in Canadian World Junior history. Meanwhile, Czechia's Thomas Suchanek enters the goal game with a .938 save percentage. Bob, who has the edge between these two?
Well, if you look at those numbers, Suchanek's got a better save percentage. He's got a better goals against average. But you know what? Let's not get hung up in the weeds on all of this. I think we should celebrate what both of these guys have done, because Milic wasn't sure if he was going to be the #1 goalie on Team Canada, but he's most certainly established that. And the performance he put on against the Americans was one for the ages. As Craig Button said, it's right up there with some of the great goaltending performances for Canada. Whether it results in a gold medal will depend if he can bounce back and do it again tonight. So there's no doubt that Milic is coming off an absolutely terrific game, but let's not forget about Suchanek. And this guy's been damned with faint praise, both in the summer when he played so well to lead the Czechia to the bronze medal game. They didn't win it, but again, both he and Milic suffer from haven't been drafted by an NHL team, been passed over twice each, and they suffer from they're 6'1" or less, which makes you a small goalie in the eyes of the National Hockey League. I think both kids have done a great job, and they've got a great opportunity on a great stage to polish the resume.
Play different, you play more confident when you have a belief in your goaltender, James. 50-50 puck, you just might want to take that chance offensively if you know the guy behind you can make a save.
The Czechia D has been great, and it's been a massive part of Czechia's offense as well. 11 goals and 8 first assists, so primary points on 19 of their 35 goals. How are they doing it?
Oh, they've been unbelievable, right from their own zone through the neutral zone into the offensive zone. They're also shooting the puck a ton. There's no one in the tournament from a back-end perspective that has taken more perimeter shots than them. They're not afraid to shoot, but it all starts from their zone exit. They're not afraid to activate. You know that they're going to play connected. They're going to use the net, and they're going to gain speed to gain entry into the offensive zone. They'll use the weak side. They'll jump in. And because they have the ability to get in with numbers, a lot of the time they're holding possession, but once they're in, they're finding ways to capitalize. And so the layering of their game from the back end right through the neutral zone into the offensive zone is leading to a ton of goals, 11 in fact by the back end alone. And it comes from players like Svozil, Spacek, as well as Juracek, who've had some big goals. They're not afraid to activate. They'll jump down the wall, and they will look. These are two defenders on the back end activating cross seam at the same time.
A couple of their big guys played around 35 minutes in that semifinal game. We'll see if there's any carryover from that in Canada today. I figure adrenaline will keep all these guys going with gold on the line. It is Canada versus Czechia. The Canadians trying to become the first country to repeat as gold medalists since they won 5 in a row from 2005 to 2009. Czechia looking for its first gold since way back in 2001.
Hey Siri, send Fred 20 bucks for some barbecue. He's about to get smoked.
Switch to RBC and get the new AirPods Pro at no cost.
This month at Harvey's, you can get 2 flame-grilled burgers for just $8. Make it an original, veggie, or one of each, and top them just the way you like with our 11 sauces and 14 toppings. That's 2 burgers for $8, only till January 29th. Harvey's, it's a beautiful thing.
The record-breaking online World Juniors 50-50 is back this holiday season. Don't miss your chance to win more and give more. December 19th to January 5th. Proceeds will benefit important charitable initiatives in your community and support girls hockey programming. Go to worldjuniors5050.ca or scan the QR code on your screen to get your tickets. You could be our next lucky winner, and you can take home half the total pot in your province. Don't miss out. Pick up your World Juniors 50-50 tickets today.
The world is waiting. You keep her alive, and you set everything right.
The president needs men of action.
Bend the rules. Do you trust me?
I'm going to build something better, meaner, wilder. I love it here. I love it.
Would you be interested in having an affair?
Here's your second period summary. There were 9 goals scored. Chad Lucius had a couple of them. It's 5-5 after 40 minutes of play. Well, you wanted more scoring.
We got a lot of it. And this is what happens. The two teams are playing for the bronze medal, which matters a lot. But it's also, they're a little bit tired. They're probably emotionally drained after a tough loss yesterday. And the game just gets a little bit sloppy. The decision-making with the puck, decision-making in their checking assignments gets a little bit loose, and all of a sudden, two teams that have a whole bunch of high-end offensive players are taking advantage of these mistakes that are being made up by both sides and looking very comfortable trying to score plays in and around the net. So it's not that it's the goaltenders, it's not like the shooters have taken unbelievably good either. They just keep getting these offensive looks and making the most of them. I would have thought the U.S. would have thrived in this game. I wasn't so sure about Sweden, but so far, they've been every bit as dangerous when given the opportunity.
And Trey Augustine will be removed from the U.S. goal. They'll put in Caden Ambri-Piotta, 19-year-old from Aspen, Colorado, who played in last year's tournament for the U.S.
And peculiarly was put into the game against Canada.
With about 3 minutes to go in the third period.
For just a couple minutes, which we were scratching our head about, but unless Ambri-Piotta has come in and it's his game, he's the goalie of record now. He enters as a tie.
Yeah.
It'll be his win or loss.
Unless they switch back.
Right, and I should never discount that happening.
Luke Hughes winds in. They're still announcing goals from the second period. Engstrom up for Bistad. And that rolls down to Ambri-Piotta. He's undrafted. Plays at Colorado College in the NCAA. Logan Cooley moves in. In comes Cooley and gets a shot. That was blocked by Shohone. Ogren has it knocked away, and here's Ufko with it. Snuggerud plays it back down, picked up by Sandin Pellikka. Ostlund. That pass goes off a stick and high. And we'll call it hand pass against the Swedes. And the face-off will come outside.
So this game has really been the tale of two periods. The first period, good goaltending, bad shooting. Second period, 40%, 39% shooting percentage. That is.
There were some wonky ones. There were also some really good ones.
Yeah, I mean, you give good players open ice, they'll make good plays. I think the bigger story is that you see some of the talent that Sweden has when they open things up or are given open ice.
McGroarty moves that in. Dorian swings back. And it's not like this has been a power play fest either.
State's got 2 of their 4 on the power play in the second period. Sweden got 1.
Here's Janssen with it. Ludvig Janssen has been one of the top defensemen in the tournament. 8 points in 6 games coming in. Stramel had that knocked down by Lekkerimäki.
The question is, now that it's close and it's the third, does Sweden go back to their tendency of locking it down?
Lead pass for Brindley, knocked down by Elias Pettersson. And the scoring fairly spread out as well. You don't have anyone with more than 2 points in the game. Engstrom feeds that back to Sjöholm. Lead pass for Bjugstad. That misfired. Icing called against the Swedes.
And the message from both benches would have been the same in between periods. Listen, forget about how we got here. Forget about how we played in the second period. We are 20 minutes away from a medal. And that will matter to you. It should matter to you now. It will matter to you in the future. So let's play 20 minutes the way we should and give ourselves a chance to win.
Magnus Hadlund, the Swedish coach, said, go home with something in your hand.
Other than memories. Yep.
Some of the biggest regrets that you hear from players, you talked about it, is when you talk to guys who played in bronze medal games and lost them.
Yep. In the moment, it doesn't feel like it's as important because everybody just wants to win the gold.
Barron shoots. Left by Lindholm. He'll hang on to that.
As you get older, as time passes, you think back about the things you could have accomplished, and you're going to want to get this game the way Chaz Lucius has helped his team get in a position to win with 2 goals in the second period. A couple of nice ones. Rushes blocker side, making it look easy. A guy who's playing in the American League at a pretty young age as well.
Yeah. With the Manitoba Moose of the American League, drafted by Winnipeg in the first round in 2021. He was on the American roster in December at the World Junior Championship. Did not play in the summer. Oscar Pettersson. To Simone Robertson. Moves in on Lane Hudson. Robertson rides him off. Wins that battle for the puck. Lead pass for Snuggerud misfired. And Moran goes back. Icing call against the U.S.
What's going on here? 3.5 minutes. We haven't had 2 goals. It's the coaches have gotten the best of the players heading into the third period. And coaches oftentimes will talk about when games get opened up like they was in the second period and how they try to corral it. They try to rein it in, but sometimes the players just have a mind of their own to play the way they're going to play that day.
Picked up by Stromgren. Back down to Ostlund. Ostlund centers it. That's hacked wide by Ogren. Ogren back on it. Feeds that back at the point. Janssen back across to Elias Pettersson. Off the end boards it goes. Stromgren picks it back up. Stromgren works that free. Back to Elias Pettersson. Shoots off the stick of Ambri-Piotta and wide. Now Ostlund steps on and scores! Noah Ostlund over the shoulder of Ambri-Piotta, and Sweden has the lead for the first time.
Ostlund, another one of the first-round forwards by Buffalo. A tidy finish as Ambri-Piotta just into the game. Watch how long he's on his knees. He never gets up. He makes the initial save. The puck goes from one side of the net to the other. Hangs in there, goes knee to knee, and that's it. It's a save. You got to be able to get their shoulders up and square as there's lots of space up top. Shooters are too good to not be able to hit that from in tight.
Ostlund plays for Djurgården in the Swedish Allsvenskan, their second league. We talked about the fact that Djurgården and AIK, the 2 marquee franchise in Stockholm, are both out of the Swedish Hockey League. Both got relegated and haven't returned yet. Good. So the Swedes a 6-5 lead.
And here I was thinking if the U.S. got to 3, the game might be over.
Down 2-0, 3-1, and 5-3. In a building where they hit the low point, maybe, of their junior program ever, 20 years ago. Finished 8th here. Had to play in the 14 relegation tournament. Barely got out of that. finished one spot above relegation. Now these players were not born then, for the most part. This tournament open to players born in 03 or later. But the staining of that event left a mark on the Swedish Federation, which had a national rethink of junior hockey and the way the program's work. And they've really worked hard in recent years on building up their J20 league, their junior league, in association with the Swedish Hockey League clubs that run those teams. And they feel it's really improved. Bistad works in, shoots a miracle, save, rebound, loose in front, and Carlson couldn't reach that. Elias Pettersson winds back. Backhands that rink wide. The Swedes were within a minute of regulation time of going to the gold medal game. Give it the tying goal to Czechia, then give it the overtime goal with less than a minute to go in the overtime period. The United States had the 2-0 lead on Canada. Had 2 goals disallowed and lost 6-2 in the semifinal. Bouncing puck on the side of the goal. Strong with a shot. Battles high off the glass. Ogren back in the corner with it. Strongman trying to kick that back in front. Picked up by Sean Behrens. Turns it over to Ogren. And now knocked back to Ogren. Barron. Up to Kenny Connors, and Connors slides that back down to the Swedish zone. Lindblom couldn't reach it. Back around to Sjöholm. Strongman with it. Up ahead to Roseanne. Chris pass to Ostlund, winding back in. Ostlund goes behind the back. Ostlund flips that back at the point. Sandin Pellikka arrives in time, shoots, and Amberico makes the save. Roseanne drops it back. Engstrom, a long shot. And the stop made by Amberico. Noah Ostlund snaps one home, and Sweden leads for the first time.
Hey, what are we doing for the Chevrolet Goodies Cup this year? As much as we can! That's good! What about donating clothes? That's good. Washing cars? Got Mom an ice cream?
I was lured by their promises of retiring wealthier. But when I saw my returns, well, I guess that's why I never heard them talk about performance. With RBC, I'm back to feeling confident.
Since 1982, these are Sweden's results of the World Junior Championship. 1 gold, that was in 2012 in Calgary. 10 silver, 5 bronze. Sweden won the gold medal in 1981 in what was then West Germany. And since then, just 1 gold medal in the last 41 years, and they barely won that one in Calgary.
But amazingly, they went through a run of about 10 years where they didn't lose a round-robin game. Yeah. So they always had one of the best teams in the tournament, and just have not been able to string together the wins in the medal rounds.
A 54-game winning streak.
54 games. Round.
The tournament remains immensely popular in Sweden.
A lot of media here.
And a big bidding war for the television rights to this, which is an annual ratings winner in Sweden. Finland the same way. It's big there. There'll be a big audience in Czechia tonight for the gold medal game. Lekaranaki fires in, bad bounce off the corner stand. She goes back to Ufko. We've been watching those throughout the games here in Halifax as Gauthier works in for Cooley. Cooley walks right in and shoots. Lindblom save. Cooley sent flying. And the puck bounces down to Janssen. Ludvig Janssen breaks out 4 wide with the Swedes. Here's Bistad with it. Trying to throw that back in front lane. Hudson knocks it away. In comes Cooley. Logan Cooley. Basin. Stopped by Lindblom.
Staying wide open in the third period. Sweden gets one to take the lead. This U.S. couple of good looks. Here's Goalie on the rush. Challenges Lindbaum. He makes a good save as well. And then a little slow get back into his own end, but that's okay when they turn it over and Goalie's back racing down the ice. He's trying to find 5-hole, but that is really good stick discipline by Lindbaum. A lot of times when you push hard, you leave your stick behind you, which opens up the 5-hole, but Lindbaum had it covered right up on Goalie.
We've got 8 minutes without a goal here.
Look at Oslin's goal.
Oh, right, yeah. Sorry, I forgot about that.
We'll cheat our boy Oslin out of a goal here.
Sorry. 5 minutes all to go.
No.
It's a long stretch for us.
Still seems like we're due.
In comes Hughes. Works back in. Taken down there by Engstrom. Got the shot away. Scores! What a goal by Luke Hughes to tie the game at 6. Where did that come from?
What is going on out there? Goalies can't make a save. You just heard it right there. We're not losing this game was the chant for the American benches. Luke Hughes looks for the spin around.
Oh, goodness.
Thrown down, and then while on the ground, hooks this one. And I guess it's hard to pick up off the stick. Guys flying around, you're not quite sure where it's going, but that's another tough goal to give up in this game. Lindbaum, who's been so good in this tournament, is not having himself an afternoon. We've got ourselves a fun game anyways. We were joking first to 10, but it might end up being that.
Six. Sandin Pellikka. Up ahead to Simone Robertson, knocked down by Ambri-Piotta. Back at the point, Sandin Pellikka shoots, it goes off a skate and wide. Barrett turns it over to Robertson, and knocked down by Hughes. Wide pass by Stramel. Picked up by Brindley. Wrist that down the Swedish zone as Sandin Pellikka goes back. 12 goals on 56 shots in the game. Fed back down to the American zone, and Barrico plays it back around. Here's Connors waiting for it. Gloved down by Stramel. He's eligible for the upcoming draft. And then drop back. Janssen. A rink wide pass by Leo Carlson, picked up by Middlestad. He works in, and every time you turn the puck over, now you're worried it's going to wind up in the net. Lipkin plays it in. Ogren. Back across to Janssen. Janssen bounces that down. That's out of the reach of Ogren. Icy called against the Swedes.
So the captain for the U.S., the most recent goal scorer, draws them back even. He's trying to sell the spinorama. Good job by Engstrom. But this innocent looking sweeper finds the back of the net. And Dad, quiet fist bump, Mom cheering along. As, you can tell the parents feel the moment and the pressure and the want for their kids to do well so badly.
From the point, up goes Shoots. Not sure Lindbaum saw that. Blake works in. Well, at some point, Mom's going to call him in for dinner, so this game is going to end. Bounce down to Barrico, steers that away. Here's Peart. He was poke checked. Now is it back up? Past the midway point of the third period. If this game is tied in the regulation, you have 10-minute overtime 3-on-3. And then if necessary, a shootout. No shootout in the gold medal game tonight. If they're tied in the regulation, you play until someone scores 3-on-3. Goalie comes in, bouncing puck, taken away by Sternborg. Can't imagine this game would go long if it goes to overtime.
No, and with 9 minutes left, we're still not at next goal wins territory the way these guys have been going back and forth.
Goalie up for Gauthier. It's knocked down by Roseanne. Up for Sternborg. Drops it back to Roseanne. Stays on it. Roseanne winds in. Drops that back to Sandy. Pellica shoots. With a save. The rebound skipped away from Sternborg. Sternborg. Hard pass for Sandy. Pellica holds the line. Swings it back down. Roseanne shoots. Just missed far post. Moran. And now Hughes on it. To the line, but not out. Held by Lekaramaki. Swings that back to Sternborg. Fresh players come on the ice for sweetness. Theo Carlson shoots. That was deflected. And the save made by Amberico. Nochin has that taken away. Snuggerud swoops that down. And the rain goes back for it. Sandine Pellica. Up for Wagner. Poke checked it by Duke, and Sandine Pellica has it back. Beasted pulls that free. That Savage got a stick on it. He comes McGroarty. Rutger McGroarty drops that back to Savage. Throws it in front of the goal. That's knocked down by Noran. Kicked back off. McGroarty shoots, and Lindblom makes the stop. Luke Hughes, the captain of Team USA, with a dandy goal, says we're not going to lose this game.
Some plan to relax, and others look for adventure. But no matter your reason for visiting, one thing's guaranteed. From the moment you step on this island, you feel a little lighter. Come find your island, Prince Edward Island.
Stream something big. How about a mountain of blockbusters?
This is your captain speaking.
Plus new originals and exclusive series.
You in town? Is it that obvious?
Ask the chief, huh?
What you're gonna do first? What do you think I'm gonna do?
And hit shows.
Think we can work with that?
It gets better. Sign up and get 7 days free.
Boom. Sky's the limit, baby girl.
I'll take it. Awesome, right?
This can become a cultural phenomenon, the likes we've never seen before.
Paramount Plus, a mountain of entertainment.
Luke Hughes has had 2 very productive years wherever he has been, whether at the University of Michigan, where he led all freshmen in scoring last year as a defenseman, at the World Championship, and in 2 World Junior Championships. He's been terrific.
And bouncing around team to team, different tournaments, it's not always easy to find your best game, but you watch him play, and if you're New Jersey, you are so excited about the prospect of getting him into your lineup.
Simone Robertson works it ahead for the Swedes. 7:45 to go in the 3rd period. McGroarty with it. Picked up by Elias Pettersson. Goes very high off the glass. Robertson up ahead to Oscar Pettersson. Being flushed there by McGroarty. Janssen moves it ahead to Robertson, and Oscar Pettersson comes after it. Hughes picks it up, and here he comes. Luke Hughes chips out ahead, just missed there by Ostlund at center ice. Ostlund between the legs, chip pass there, goes to Oscar Pettersson. In he comes. The 2 Petterssons, by the way, not related. Ostlund in, shoots, and Miracle makes a stop on that. Thrown back in front. Shoholm walks in, rolling puck, fires, and Miracle save. Rebound! Over in Tim Rachel. 7 to go in the 3rd period. Poked ahead by Engstrom. Sternborg put that back in. Hughes hit the clock with it.
He got the scoreboard.
You don't see that every day.
We've seen that in the tournament. It's all even up. 6 each, 30 shots each. And there's another good attempt by Sweden. Barikos fights it off. Oh, what is that? A Salchow? What is that?
Toe loop.
Toe loop? It's hard to land toe loops on hockey skates. No toe picks.
Have you tried it?
Yeah.
Have you?
I can do a 360, whatever that one's called.
Can you really?
Yeah. Well, not anymore.
Okay. It's very hard to do. Figure skates are very different than hockey skates. Sandine Pellica had that poked out. Shots are even at 30. Score tied at 6. Pierce. Up ahead for Ufko. Chips that down the Swedish zone. Sandin Pellikka back on it. Got spun around by Blake. Moran plays it back out. Here it goes back. Icing waved off. Lipkin chips it in. Janssen. Back around to Pettersson. Janssen. Up for Wagner. Moves back in. That's taken away. Drop back at the point. Elias Pettersson with it. Back to Janssen. Off the end boards he goes. Picked up by Wagner. And a quick chance for Carlson. Stopped in tight by Amberico. Pettersson back for Janssen. Walks in and shoots. And the glove save made by Amberico. 6-6 the score. 5:28 to go in the third.
Come on over. Bring your appetite. Bring a friend. Bring a few. Our home is your home. Let us give you the tour. Then you can relax. And a little later, we'll even put on a show. New Brunswick, always inviting.
This month at Harvey's, you can get 2 flame-grilled burgers for just $8. Make it an original, veggie, or one of each, and top them just the way you like with our 11 sauces and 14 toppings. That's 2 burgers for $8, only till January 29th. Harvey's, it's a beautiful thing.
On all leads to the final game of the tournament. Canada and Czechia. Canada will be back in white tonight against the Czechs, who seek their first gold medal since 2001. They've already clinched their first medal since 2005. And this place will be jumping tonight. Face off one back. Elias Pettersson shoots, and that's blocked by Duke. Picked up by McGordy. Here's Wagner. Up to Carlson. Snapped that pass rink wide. Picked up by Beestead, and Hughes stays with him. He just does look like a plug-and-play player, doesn't he?
Yeah. And he's big enough to handle the rigors of playing defense in the NHL. He plays a style.
In comes Cooley. A step on Elias Pettersson. And
where's the puck?
Lindholm.
Where's the puck? It's in the net. Where's the puck? There it is outside back. The back.
Wow. How did he keep that out? He wound up in the net, and the puck didn't.
Goalie jumps on a loose puck. He turns Pettersson. And it stays in Cooley's hip pocket. He crashed heavily into Lindholm, into the post. It's not. That collision's not so bad. Love Cooley feeling a little bit the effects of that.
Okay, Connors with a shot that's blocked. Ostlund back with it. 4:45 to go in the third period of a 6-6 tie. Stromgren up ahead to Ostlund. Sternberg with it. Drops that back. Scramble takes it away. Stolen back by Stromgren. Kenny Connors picks that off. Ricky Wine goes to Lane Hudson. In comes Hudson with a move. Shimmies and shoots. Ball makes a save on that. Schoen lost his stick. Ostlund taken down. Bounces right back in front. Here's Connors and throws it back in front. Brindley couldn't get a shot away. And the loose puck knocked away by Sternborg. Look out. There's almost too many men there. And the Swedes howling about that.
If one of them would have touched the puck,
it was.
It would have been called.
Inside 4 to go in regulation. Snuggerud. Up for Gauthier. Picked up by Milton Oscarsson. Now Off the glass he goes. It skips away from Ufko. And icing call against the Swedes.
Rand Pecknoldy's trying to get his team dialed in all game long, but now it's winning time, under 4 to play, and it's right there for you. A medal is right there for you, and look out on the bench as Ufko was jumping out there. Hudson saw the puck coming, elected to stay, but wisely they both let it go.
Here's Blake trying to take that free. Lipkin knocked that free. Lucius for Blake. Kicks it back to Behrens. Off the inboards, bouncing back, knocked away by Lindvall. Here's Blake. Back in the corner with it, looking for Lucius. Lipkin knocked that free. Bounces back to Blake. In comes Jackson Blake. Drops that back, Behrens. Lucius. Back for Behrens. Across to Hughes. In comes Luke Hughes. Shoots, and Lindvall gets a piece of that. Hughes holds the line and sends it back into Blake for Lipkin. Lipkin centers it. Lucius can't reach it. Picked up by Blake again. Tired Swedish defenders on the ice. In comes Lucius with a shot. Lindvall the save. And he'll hang on to that as Lucius is turned away.
A shift in the offensive zone by the U.S. Great puck support. Buying time and space, using the points. Eventually getting it down to the front of the net for some good opportunities. Jackson Blake twisting and turning. Lucius already got 2 goals over that blocker side. Almost gets a third. Sweden was hanging on with tired legs.